Picture this. You are sitting in your Fordham London flat, thinking, pondering about what life decisions led you to that very moment. You think about the good, the bad, the worst, knowing you booked a trip to Paris that weekend really doesn't get any worse than that for some people. Or maybe the worst part of it all is knowing that you haven't been in the sweet, sweet Rose Hill studio for months. For months.
That was beautiful.
And at that, you haven't been on one-on-one since dinosaurs roamed the earth. March. Maybe, no, actually, you were here all summer. But in the wise words of literally every human being that has walked this earth, we are so back, baby. We are so back.
That was so chills. I had no idea where that was going. Chills.
No, well, if you don't know where this is going or what this is One-on-One, New York's longest running sports call-in show. I'm Lydia Pirner, and I'm joined alongside by my wonderful co-hosts, Gabby Price and Grace McCarron, for the very last One-on-One of August 2025.
That's
so
crazy.
Wow. Crazy, right?
When you put it like that,
wow,
crazy.
When you put it like that.
Crazy that September's like a day away, but that's okay. Life's moving too fast. But we also have Griffin Stevenson as our radio producer behind the glass, as long as if the wonderful graphics you are seeing at the bottom of the screen, maybe like right here, I'm not sure. Those are Nathan Rogers, who we might also get to hear talking some college football. We have a great show in store for you guys today.
We do.
We'll start talking about the New York football team that actually has really maybe the most positive vibes in the city right now.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk some Giants. We'll also talk some Jets and general NFL, maybe get a special guest, who knows. Then we'll take a quick break and hear from an interview, Gabby, that you and Isabella did with Holly Rowe. So that should be good fun. We're going to talk some Yankees, New York's baseball team, and then we'll take another quick break, hear another interview that our friend Grace here did. A lot of interviews going on.
Lots going on. People
in the studio. That one was with Tyler Kepner, and then on the other side of that, we have to talk Mets. So we'll talk Mets.
We do.
Yeah, but it should be a pretty busy day. I think I accidentally missed talking college football in here. There will be college football, but maybe it's a surprise as to when it's going to come in. It'll be right after the NFL segment for those listening. But exciting day in the studio. We're going to have a full studio. Fordham football's back.
It's a big day.
The studio behind us is going to be full. But first, Gabby, as a host, usually I'm supposed to use my manners and ask how you're doing. But instead, I'm going to give you the mic to defend yourself because I already, slandered Paris just in the opening.
For
I want you to be able to defend it.
Lydia spent, what'd you say, 48 hours in Paris?
We were there
and
for
you
less
called
than
it
3
the
days.
worst city in the world, basically, and then compared it to Pakistan, if I'm not mistaken.
Kabul.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
The skyline looks
But
similar.
either...
No,
it doesn't.
No, if you take out the Eiffel Tower, like where were we?
I don't remember.
Oh my gosh, I don't remember where we were.
I don't know anything about the geography.
Are you talking about that skyline view?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
the basilica.
You were at Sacré-Cœur.
Yes,
The
that.
basilica.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. That was very cool.
On the top of the hill.
Yeah.
I thought that
I
was very
spent
cool.
4 months there. I should know the name of these things.
Yeah, I thought that was a very cool basilica. No,
I'm
you
so
led
sorry
us
you
there.
Spent 4 months there.
Oh my God.
We have to walk a
I'm
lot
sorry you
of hills.
spent 4 months in London, a city that's
1 month.
It's been
New
1
York,
month.
1
just
month.
6
No,
hours
No, but
away.
London
4
was
months, sorry.
London was delightful. I fear. I didn't hate Paris the way that Lydia does, but I mean I loved London. London and I are like I miss it.
You guys are tight?
I'm tight with London. Yeah, we have like a relationship, me and London.
We have Griffin
Interesting.
saying Paris is a really cool city behind the
Thank
glass.
you,
Griffin,
Griffin.
do you want to put your
Oh
2
my
cents
God.
in?
He's
Griffin's so
his
valid for
outfit.
that.
Oh, and
We're gonna let Griffin put his 2 cents in about Paris right now too.
Oh my God. Yeah, if there's
It's a great city.
Oh,
Thank you.
I would-
Wrong.
It's a small city.
It's
which I
very
like.
spread out though. It
You
takes
can
forever to get everywhere.
Lime bike anywhere or
that's
Uber
true.
bike anywhere.
I didn't know they had lime bikes there. Actually, that's my bad.
I went to Paris like a month after like a huge breakup, so that kind of sucked. That was not wasn't really feeling City of Love vibes. Would love to go back.
Yeah.
But no, I think it was a cool city. I saw it in
doesn't have
like
to
3
be City
days,
of Love
but
vibes.
3
went
days
on a
is a
long.
lot.
It was
weekend
not City
from
of Love
Fordham,
vibes
so.
when we were there.
Doable
either,
in
so.
4 days, I
mean,
would say.
I think you only need like 2 days in Paris to be honest. You get on. We
We
took the hop
did.
on, hop off.
I was gonna say we did knock out a lot of the big things we wanted to see in one day because of the bus.
Yeah,
I
I
should-
mean, I think it's like New York where you can see all the big things in New York in a day,
Right,
but like
but we
you would never
also-
find like the Lower East Side.
Right, and we also didn't get to go. I know this isn't technically in Paris. We didn't go to like Versailles. Like there's other
Yeah,
stuff
there's-
around that we
yeah,
No,
didn't
we didn't.
see.
I
exactly.
fully told my friends I went there. but
Versailles?
we didn't go
What
there.
do
We were not
That's like
close
an
to
hour
Versailles.
and a
You
half
You
train.
gotta
were like-
go.
they were
you
like-
have to go.
Really?
You have
So
to
now
go.
we
We
have
should
to
go
go
back
to
to
It's really
France.
cool.
Yes, now you have to go
Yeah.
back to France.
Yesterday, my friends were like, "Oh, did you go to Versailles?" And I was like, "Yeah, I went there."
Wait, so
Just
where?
not-
I
at-
wonder
at
where
no
did you
point
think
were we
you
in
were?
Versailles.
Yeah,
I have no
No
idea. I just assumed
point.
it was sometime along that
No.
tour.
Yeah.
along that bus
Do you see
tour.
the Mona Lisa?
No, we
No.
did pass the Louvre though, but it was
Classic.
like
The Louvre is massive.
Well, that's the thing.
It's
My
absolutely
mom and brother
massive.
went like a couple weeks before, and they said it's kind of like IKEA. Like you get in and like you're stuck in there. Like
That
you just gotta
sounds
walk through like
scary.
all
That's
the.
like
not
the
gonna lie,
that
most
sounds
frightening.
American analogy you possibly
I mean,
could.
caca.
The Louvre built in like the 1800s.
Yeah, this
if
beautiful
not, like, way
building.
earlier than that. It's
I
like
did-
IKEA.
I will say I liked that
Oh
the
my
area
God.
that the Louvre was in. I liked the what are the gardens right there? Is that the Tuileries?
yeah, the
Or-
Tuileries.
Those were cute. I liked that
Those are
area. That was
pretty.
kind of a cool vibe.
Yeah,
But
that garden's pretty.
Well, we
Yeah.
also went right after like PSG won. They won something. I
Yeah, they
think-
won their.
Yeah, they won. They
league,
won.
I
Yeah,
think.
and so the city was still kind of feeling the effects of that. So there was trash like everywhere.
I
And
mean,
normally, like
yeah.
I'm used to that in New York,
Yeah.
but
the Bronx.
I was just expecting Paris to be like, well, no one's gonna. This reference isn't gonna land for anyone, but like I watched White Collar, and
oh
the very
boy.
last scene was in Paris, so I was like expecting it to be like kind of fertile
Like
like
the
that.
movies?
Yeah,
Did you see-
I did.
That's like
yeah.
that's like when you
I
watch.
did say
oh
fertile.
wow, what a start we're off to.
Like,
Great start.
I was just gonna move past that.
I
That's
was
like
gonna
that's like you watch
say.
any movie about New York and you're like.
I was
this
gonna
is
say it's not
it.
like New York, like how it is in like Sex and the City. It's not really like that, you know.
No.
And Paris is not like how it was. Was it in La La Land? Like
I've never actually
Yeah.
seen La La Land.
I went to that
Maybe? know.
jazz bar where they filmed it.
Yes.
That's a cool place, guys.
In
that's
Paris?
cool.
Instagram.
Actually, our
was really
friends
cool.
might have
They
gone
have a
there
lot
too.
of yeah, probably. It's
We should have
super-
done
it's
that.
Kind of like
we kind of blew it.
It's kind of touristy, but it's really cool. It's like a cave. So you go in, you
That's-
go down.
Why
and
didn't we do
It's
that?
like a really cool bar, and everyone's like dancing. And we went, and it was packed, like packed. But honestly, like I don't listen to a lot of jazz. Jazz live, very good.
We
Really?
should have done that.
Underrated.
Do you think
Now
I
we have
could-
to go back to
yeah.
France to do that.
Do you
We have
think
to
I
Listen,
could,
I'll
like,
play-
Versailles
wait,
in the
girls
jazz
trip.
bar.
Come
Can I
on.
play the saxophone?
Yeah,
there,
girls
do you
trip.
think?
I feel
Yeah.
like Gabby, if
never
we
played
went
the
with you, I
saxophone
feel like
before.
we'd like it more because you know what you're doing. We didn't know what we were
Oh,
doing.
I like take you
actually,
guys shopping. I like take you guys to my favorite
went
bar.
to an
like,
espresso store and I got Nespresso pods, and I went to
Nice.
Lululemon Paris and I got a Lululemon Paris T-shirt. and
wow.
Going into Paris, that was
Those
my
were her
objectives
goals,
this
and then
year.
she was like, "Okay,
And
you
take a
you book
selfie
the
with the
other
Eiffel Tower.
activities." Yeah,
Oh, well,
and then
that's
she's
not hard
like,
to do.
"Okay,
You
the
can
rest
see
of the
from
trip is
anywhere.
up to you," and I'm like, "That's way too much responsibility for me." So we did the bus, and then the next day it was
The
pouring rain.
bus.
So we went to a cafe, got croissants, and we sat in another cafe until
Yeah,
our train
that's
because it was the
very
weather was
Paris.
brutal.
we also
Yeah.
paid to change our train back. After we
Yes.
had already
well, 'cause
dropped,
we ran out of things to do.
after we
to
had
be
already
honest.
dropped
This is
like
totally our-
$500
This
on
is-
train
This
tickets.
was totally our fault. I don't want to blame Paris for our
I want to
slight
blame
issues.
Paris. I want to blame Paris.
Lydia's like, let's blame Paris
Yeah.
now.
I didn't
but-
have any
I'm
problems
just
with
saying though,
London.
you could do the same thing in London, where like you could see Big
Right.
Ben, Parliament, and be like, "That's it."
No, I
I'm
would
calling it
actually.
quits
I
now.
would argue that there's more to see in London. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, there's so much more to see.
I also think there's more variety in things to see in London. Like Paris is a very specific.
they speak
But you're
English.
also saying that because you spent a month there, so you had to find a month's worth
That's
things
true.
to do.
But I also like. I liked walking around. I don't know. I'm like obsessed with London. I liked
Because
walking
London is
around
New York,
there.
and we love
it's
New
literally.
York.
It's because
That's
I
why
have
you
a.
guys like.
It's
I
because I have a
think-
New York superiority
I
complex,
think
and like
we-
London's the same thing. That's why. That's
They
Genuinely
just
exactly
don't
the
have the
reason.
Mets, and
They
like,
don't have the Mets.
yeah.
That would make it perfect if they
Yeah.
did.
well, Paris is 6 hours ahead, so you can't even watch Mets games there. But
I actually
nor can
watched
y-
David Wright's
it's
number
tough.
retirement ceremony in the Paris
It's
hotel.
tough.
nor can you watch Giants games there. Which, if you
We
want to
gotta
talk
talk
about the
about that.
Giants, by the way, you can call in at 718-817-2750. Or if you want to talk about, give your 2 cents on Paris, you can also do that. But on the other side of this break, we're here to talk some Giants, Jets, NFL, Micah Parsons, and maybe even get a special guest. So you'll have to stay tuned for that because you don't know who the guest is. We're going to break, and we'll be right back.
What's up, everyone? I'm Chris Carino.
I'm Brendan Shorey.
And I'm Tucker Austin.
Your Fordham football broadcasters for the 2025 season.
Join us every Saturday on 90.7 FM and on WFUV Sports YouTube page for live radio broadcasts of every Fordham football game as the Rams continue their quest to their first Patriot League title since 2014.
With a new look offense and veteran leaders on defense, you won't want to miss this. Fordham football, every weekend on WFUV Sports. What's up, everybody? It's Tucker Austin, one of WFUV Sports' New York Yankees beat reporters in 2025. Aaron Judge and company are hungry to return to the Fall Classic to avenge their defeat last season. Follow me on X at @Taustin_24 for live game updates, video recaps, and more as the Bronx Bombers chase their 28th World Series championship. WFUV Sports is your home for everything New York Yankees.
I don't know about you two, but I was honestly just itching in my seat during that break because for the first time in, I don't know, Grace, like 5 years,
Yeah.
we get to talk positively about the New York Giants. And that's not coming like fully from a place of delusion. And not to make this, intro about me, but I have lived off of delusion with the New York Giants for the past 5 seasons. I became a Giants fan, like true Giants fan in 2019. When
Oh,
Daniel
wow,
Jones
what
was
a
becoming
time.
the quarterback, because I was
Is that why you became a Giants fan?
I was always a Giants fan, but I became like a dedicated
You were like
Giants
locked
fan.
in.
I was like, this is my
Okay.
quarterback.
Interesting.
So as you know, I'm still a big fan of him. Like, I hope he does well on the Colts, but I've never really seen positive vibes from the Giants.
Well,
and
2022 they made the playoffs.
That was
That was
probably
kind of
the
an
peak.
anomaly.
But
though.
then hold on,
2022 was
they-
the last good vibes.
They won that game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then what happened against Philly? I think I
Oh,
went up to
they
my
got,
room
like, dog
after like the
walked.
first quarter.
I think it was like 31 to 7.
It was like 40.
It was
yeah,
really
it was bad.
terrible.
But
Bad times.
Yeah.
Jackson Dart, he's here. Mr. Unlimited is probably going to be the starting quarterback.
Mhm.
And we got Jameis Winston, who technically is the second, the
Famous
backup.
Jameis. Yeah.
Vibes are good.
Vibes are good.
I'm
on-
feeling good.
Three
with the
Amigos?
Giants.
Three
The
Amigos.
Three Amigos. That was
I
a
mean,
heck of a
hey.
Are you
post.
meeting this
That's-
W, Gabby?
That's some good content.
It was great content. I'm
I
so
mean,
happy.
I mean, Jackson Dart. It's like I would talk about him all day if I could, but objectively, he still is the third string, set to be the third string.
Yeah.
But honestly, I keep going back to vibes. The vibes are just so good, and with that quarterback room, maybe Dart watching for a season could be really good for his development. Because how many times in not even just football, like sports in general, do you see, players completely rushed? And I just think Dart had such a good preseason. He had 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 6 carries for 52 yards, and a touchdown. Also had a fumble, which,
Happens.
is the
Happen.
rookie mistakes. Like, he should have slid. Dable said,
Yeah,
Dart,
he
you
already
gotta slide.
talked about right.
But,
He
like,
already talked about that.
Dable also loved it. He was like, all right, I see my quarterback taking a risk. But that being said, what do you think, Grace, is how should the Giants go about this 3 quarterback room?
I ideally think Russell Wilson should be starting the majority of the games this season. There's a few scenarios where maybe Jackson Dart sees some playing time, and I think it should only be if Russell Wilson is somehow really terrible, and I don't think he will be because he's a decent starting quarterback. He always has been. Or if he gets hurt, which obviously we hope doesn't happen. But I think this is actually a great scenario for Jackson Dart to be in because he has the opportunity. He is on the depth chart. He is the backup to Russ right now, but he has a great opportunity to learn from two vets they've each been in the league. Russell Wilson has won the Super Bowl. That was a long time ago now, but he's been there. They've both him and Jameis have been in the league over 10 seasons. So there's a lot of leadership there. And there's a lot of opportunity for Jackson Dart to learn, and I think that is a great situation for him to be in, because I don't think they don't need to rush him into this situation. I mean, we'll talk about, like, their schedule is brutal. Like, we don't really know what we're looking at with the Giants here. They're kind of in a new era after Daniel Jones got released last year. I'm sorry to bring that up, but yeah, they're kind of in a new era. I think if they give Jackson Dart a little time to develop, like, I liked what I saw in preseason, but as we always say with the preseason, those are not the players he's going to be facing in the regular season. So I think let him sit for a bit.
I mean, Dart is only 22.
He's
so
got
I
so
think,
much
like,
time.
It would be crazy to have him playing a lot now when it's like
Right.
you were also saying, like, he's going to be so much better if he does have time to actually develop as a player rather than just, like, we need a quarterback, get in there. Like,
Yeah.
that wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
I think people were also worried that, Russell Wilson, he is a guy that some people, have strong opinions against and don't necessarily think he's always the best teammate. But I think just seeing, like, how those three kind of interacted in preseason, and Tommy DeVito, rip, Tommy Cutlets.
Bye, Tommy.
Yeah,
Cutlets.
end of an era.
It was a
Low
nice
key,
era
thank goodness.
sometimes.
New York lost an Italian.
Was never
So
never
good.
the biggest Tommy
tough day
Tommy
for,
Cutlets
like, the
fan.
Sopranos.
And well, now he's up in. I got so many texts, not so many. I got, like, probably 3 texts, like, "Oh my God, Tommy DeVito's a Patriot," and I just pointed and laughed
Yeah.
because they thought they were, like, taking, like, my pride and joy.
Hey,
and I
now
was
he's
like,
got the
no.
North End in Boston.
Oh.
That's
he's
not a
looking
bad
over
way to be.
Go get some cannolis.
It's not a bad
Yeah,
way to
you
be.
get- yeah,
I love the North End.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a great place.
But I think just I would it's one of those things, like, he looked so good, but Grace, you bring up a really good point. Like, he's not playing against guys that
Yeah.
he's gonna see. So I don't think, he's got two, I don't want to say friends, but, like, they almost seem like these are, like, these guys like Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson want to take care of Dart because they know he's the future of the Giants.
Mhm.
And so I think, sitting on the sideline, watching, learning, and just, like, being in that environment is probably what's going to be best for his development. And I know some people even think, like, if the Giants season is going south,
Mhm.
that he should step in. But is that a place where you necessarily want a young quarterback to step in? Like, if the Giants are, 0-6 and if the Giants are 0-6, I'm not sure Russell Wilson's, like, going to be the problem. But do you want Jackson Dart being the one to step in?
Well, I think if they're 0-6 and
Which could very likely happen, unfortunately.
yeah, I mean, but if Russell Wilson isn't the problem, then don't take him out.
I
Yeah.
don't envision
Like,
Russell Wilson being the problem.
I don't think he will be.
Yeah,
The problem.
why
He
would
wasn't
you?
the problem.
Why would
like,
you
with the
change something
Steelers.
that's going well for them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, focus on whatever else.
The problem is the schedule.
The schedule
And
is
that- you
going to
can't change
cause
that,
them
yeah, which
problems.
is-
Like, if you look, let's just say 0-6. They play the Commanders to open the season, then Dallas, which now that Micah Parsons is gone, which we'll talk about, is a little bit
Yeah.
different. Then the Chiefs for the home opener, then the Chargers, and then the Saints, which I think they need to win, and then the Eagles. This is multiple playoff
But I
teams
wouldn't
in the
even
first
say that the
6
Saints
weeks.
is, like, the Saints is a should win.
They should win. I don't think it's they're going to win. I think it's you should, if you want me to believe in you at all.
It's
Yeah.
not a good looking schedule.
It's not good.
No.
But the good news is, which, like we said, we'll get into the trade. The Giants no longer have the toughest strength of schedule.
They dropped to third.
They dropped to third. The Bears and the Lions now have tougher schedules. So,
That's huge.
with the theme of the day, are we so back? Giants Super Bowl, perhaps?
Oh dear God.
No one. No
Uh,
one's for that
It's-
agenda.
I think.
all right,
I mean,
all right, that's fine. I say this every year, so
Hey, you know
Well,
what?
you
Every
have to.
season's a new. It's
it's
a new
a
chapter.
manifestation.
Exactly. We have to have some
if
hope
you say
around
it'll
here.
come true eventually, right?
yeah.
One
I mean,
day. So
Jackson Dart's lifting the Lombardi Trophy.
in like 2032.
Evan Neal's gonna have, like, an unreal season.
Oh
No
my
one,
God,
no one's
Neal.
getting by. No one's touching Jackson Dart. with
Nobody's
Evan Neal on that.
touching
Yeah.
Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart will come out of every game unscathed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about the Giants,
But
to
what,
be honest.
what
I'm
do
very
you guys think the
yeah.
Giants' ceiling is? Like
Super Bowl.
overall this season?
The Super Bowl.
um
Come on.
okay,
Like,
just
for real?
No.
no.
Yeah,
Lydia, please.
that's-
I haven't even thought about the Giants ceiling because
I don't know.
because you know they are 3-0 in the preseason, so I'm like, yes,
You think
I don't
want
wanna think
over under
poorly.
like 8 games?
8 wins.
8
under.
wins.
Under.
Yeah, sorry,
Under.
my bad.
I'm
'Cause
thinking like 5.
I was gonna say
5.
5 because like let's just.
I think like 7.
I'm gonna name some games that I think they could win. The Saints,
That's a winnable game.
that's a winnable game. The Patriots, perhaps. Sorry,
That's
Joe.
on December 2nd.
Sorry, Joe.
That very much should be a win. That's in New England though. Monday night, but or is that MetLife? No, I think it's in New
That's
England.
on your birthday.
Is it December 1st or December 2nd?
It's December 1st.
It's December 1st on my
December
21st
1st.
birthday.
Wow.
Write that down. Write that down.
I know I
That's
was
a
kind
big
of
one.
disappointed because it's the day after Thanksgiving, and my mom's a big Patriots fan.
Oh, that's a
So
tough
I would have
one.
loved to go to that game with her, but I don't
Okay.
think she would love to go to that game with me because I was
Mean.
not very nice during the preseason. Like I don't even remember,
preseason
but there
game.
was some like flag that I was like, that's not a flag, like or whatever, and my mom's like just sitting there biting her tongue, and I
Oh
kind of
my
like
God.
I went up to my room and I was like, wow, like I am
Oops.
such a word I can't say on. I was like, I can't believe I'm being mean to my own mother about her sports team, and she's
in
just
the
sitting there.
preseason, no
She
less.
like cooked me
Yeah.
dinner, you know, and I'm just like,
Poor Charlene.
I'm in her house that like you know.
Charlene, you didn't deserve that.
And she did my laundry over the summer, you know, and I'm just like, Patriots suck.
Maybe the Raiders is literally the second to last game of the season. I'm gonna do another run through. I think they could.
That's when they lose the first overall pick.
Yes. I think this might be controversial. Well, maybe not actually. I think they could take a game off the
I love being
Cowboys.
controversial with takes on these.
Do you think they could take a game off the Cowboys? Maybe not at
Yes.
Yeah.
AT&T.
Yes, because
18
the end of
yeah.
like the end of the season is when the Giants decide to like go like.
Oh,
sicko
that's the
mode.
last game of the.
Yeah. That should
Oh,
be a
and that's
win.
at MetLife. Okay, maybe that's a win. So
That should
what's
be a
that?
win.
4 wins. Yeah, I don't know about the Bears. Like maybe, but.
But the thing
don't
is,
know.
they'll have 1 or 2 wins where you're like, wow,
That's yeah.
the thing is, they will randomly beat.
like the Eagles.
They'll beat the
something.
maybe or like the Chargers or some team that is going to the playoffs, but is not. It's not like gonna win the Super. I don't think the Chargers are gonna win the Super Bowl personally,
no,
but
they do the same thing every
they
year.
always they're kind of like the Brewers. They always make the playoffs and then they're
But
not good.
Justin Herbert like might be so back.
He might be so back,
Lake
but
Sleeve
also
in
like
public
not
was-
really. I don't know.
Was something.
That's
It was like
true.
the Stouffer's mac and cheese.
So I'm with Madison Beer.
Him and Madison Beer.
It's
yeah.
a power couple.
I mean, if Madison Beer's at the
Dude, this
yeah,
is
the
like
Chargers
this
games.
is really that's big news.
yeah,
But
Yeah.
anyway,
it's like Trevor Zegras and Dixie D'Amelio.
it's exactly like that. I would say.
Yeah.
hey, get new viewership to the NFL. Let's go. Let's go. Sorry.
But
back
anyway,
on track.
I would say 5 wins, but if they get 5 wins, it's not going to hurt as bad as them getting 4 wins last year. Yes, something about last season, it was just all hope was lost. And I am I've been a Giants fan since birth, and I even couldn't watch them at the end. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, once Daniel Jones went, I was out too.
Yeah. But I was just it was so hopeless, and the 4 wins felt like nothing, and then they crushed the Colts to lose the first overall pick, I believe.
But yeah, the thing
So-
is, like, I will stand by. I can't root for my team to lose, no matter what. Like,
I will never root for them to lose.
like we're all like
No.
we're all psycho to the point where the Giants might be
Back.
0-9 or whatever,
Or
and I'm
that.
I'm sitting on that couch
I'm
for
booking
3.5
my Sunday.
hours, and I'm watching that game no matter what.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Actually, funny you say that. I realized that the Giants opener is during that Yankee game we just bought tickets to with our London friends. So we'll be watching that from Yankee Stadium.
Oh, for
Yeah.
real?
But
Oh,
That's-
Sunday,
that's
September
okay.
7th.
yeah, but that's okay. You know, we've all done that before. So basically, what the message is here is that
That
I
game's
don't.
a Will Warren game. I'm leaving. Sorry.
I
I always get the
I
Will Warren games,
do the
and
Will
it always
Warren
is a Will Warren
games.
game against the Red Sox, and I'm like,
It's and it's not the Will Warren games where he randomly does really good. It's the Will Warren
No.
games where he's like
no,
giving
and
up 5 runs.
and like I
very
feel bad,
easily.
but we'll talk about Will
We'll
Warren
talk about
later.
Will Warren later. But overall, I'm trying to limit my expectations with the Giants, but there's some things that I'm excited about. I'm excited to see Dexter Lawrence again. I'm excited to see Abdul Carter. I think he could be Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Mhm.
Neighbors in his second season,
Yeah,
and
I'm
he
excited.
also has a good passing quarter like Daniel Jones.
I don't. Well, him and Daniel Jones like didn't get along. The thing was, nobody disliked Daniel Jones. Like
He's a
everyone
nice
like felt
person.
bad for him that he
It
was
just was not working out.
so bad, except for Neighbors. Like Neighbors was like,
I don't
man,
know
you
about
stink.
that.
Get out.
Cause,
But
and now
that's
and
why
now,
that's why everything is so much like more joyful.
right.
In that locker
And
room.
now like Russell Wilson's there. We know he's a decent quarterback. And he can throw the ball deep to Neighbors, and that's good for him. So
Yeah, make something happen.
I mean, speaking of throw the ball deep, not to get back onto Jackson Dart, even though we could talk about Jackson Dart for a while.
yeah.
We said his preseason stats, but that's not to mention that I think he had like 2 like dimes of passes that
He had 2 really
Jalen
good
Hyatt
passes.
hit off of his head, and you're just
that
like,
was not great. Jalen Hyatt was not great.
I'm
this
waiting for the
preseason.
breakout year for him. Every
Okay,
year,
so
though.
that's been like
Every
3
year,
years.
though.
in a row
Every
now.
year.
Yeah.
It's him and Neil. It's like, yeah,
It's literally both of them.
This
I'm like,
is- this
when
is
are
their
you going
year.
to pan out?
but I'm not
Evan
sure.
Neal, I'm
This is
starting to
their
lose
year?
hope.
Yeah.
Are you?
I would-
You seem very optimistic. And
No,
I'm
no,
like,
I wouldn't. If like I
I'm
was to do a fantasy
scared.
draft tomorrow, I would not draft Jalen Hyatt.
I feel like someone might have drafted actually.
That's like
in
I would
our
draft
fan-
the
in
Bears
WFUV
defense third
fantasy
overall, but I
league.
wouldn't draft Jalen Hyatt.
No, I wouldn't draft.
But you
Jalen
gotta
Hyatt.
you gotta get a good your top picks in a fantasy draft have to be like you gotta get a good kicker and defense. Like that could set yourself up for success.
No, you're supposed to draft those last.
No, you draft them first.
No, you draft the receivers first.
No, you draft a kicker
No.
because a kicker.
I fear this
uh,
is incorrect.
You draft a kicker first, and then you draft the defense. So I prefer to draft my defense first, because sometimes they'll get like 6 points, but some defenses will get like 8 points. So it like makes a difference.
But if you have the choice,
I'm kidding, okay?
If
I can't
you-
play fantasy football anymore because it ruins my football watching experience.
I was gonna say if you have the choice between Jamar Chase and like Cameron Dicker from the Chargers,
Dicker the
who are
kicker.
you- Yeah, I love
Isn't that his
Dicker the
Instagram
kicker.
handle?
Probably.
I don't
Who
know.
are you picking? Jamar Chase or Dicker the kicker?
I'm picking. Oh my gosh, what's the Atlanta guy?
Younghoe Koo.
Younghoe Koo's always on my team.
He's pretty good. He's
racks
been
up
less
the
good the
points.
past like 2 seasons, but like he's pretty good.
Well, speaking of the Giants, like my freshman year, I didn't want to play the Seahawks defense this one weekend because they were playing against the Giants, and I was like, I think it was like the 3rd game of the season. I was like, oh, Daniel Jones is gonna go off. Like Seahawks defense is gonna get like
wow.
-10, and I think the Seahawks defense got like 25 points. And I was sat there in like the Martyrs Lounge, just looking at my team, and I'm
That's
just like,
brutal.
I won, but at what cost? So we're not doing that anymore.
This is my
That's
first
why I've retired from fantasy football.
This is my first year playing fantasy football, and I'm already feeling a little bit concerned. I was getting some hate for drafting Sam Laporta early from Joe Henry, who was behind the glass.
kind of valid, Joe.
I don't really, to be honest, I just was looking at the little rankings that they do on Sleeper while you're drafting, and I was kind of just picking the next person, like whose position I needed, who is the top pick. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's a good strategy, but
I mean,
we'll
gotta go with
see.
vibes.
sometimes you
We're
just
talking
have to go with
vibes,
vibes.
Big vibes guy.
Big
vibes.
Big
Yeah.
vibes guy. That was my feeling when I drafted Michael Conforto in fantasy baseball, and I unfortunately had to drop him. Sorry, Michael, love you, but it was not working out.
You
The
can't
d-
drop like your sentimental players.
I had to because it was
No, you
detrimental.
can't do that. You find someone else to drop.
He was batting like 160.
yeah. Drop
It was
Aaron
not-
Judge.
So unfortunately, I don't have Aaron Judge.
I dropped. Oh my gosh, who did I drop one year? The year. What's the guy on the Dolphins? A shot. What's his name?
Jay Jai?
No.
No.
What's the guy? The running back on the Dolphins.
Oh, Devon A-Chain.
Yes,
I have him on my team.
I had 2 years ago I had him and then I dropped him like
Oh.
mid-season, and someone else picked him up and he dropped like 40 points the next week, and I
Felt good
when
about
I
that
tell you
one.
I like wanted to throw my phone. I was like calling my dad. I was like, why would you let me do this? This is the stupidest thing ever.
Oh
And
my
yeah, this is so once again.
Yeah.
Do
This
not
is
play.
like,
Do not play fantasy football if you
if you
care about
have-
your sanity.
right.
But that's also exactly why you should play fantasy football.
If you
Yeah.
like want to not hate players who have nothing to do with your actual football team, don't play fantasy football or fantasy baseball, because I also have that problem now with fantasy
it's
baseball.
just fantasy sports in general.
Yeah, but it's also fun.
But I
so.
mean, I'm still living in a fantasy because I think the Giants are going to win the Super Bowl.
Sure. I mean, hey, everyone starts the season at the same record, so
True.
even the
True,
the
Grace.
Chiefs, the Eagles,
No
the
losses.
Giants,
Very
everybody
true.
starts
No
at the
losses.
same place.
No
I'm
losses
counting. I'm
yet.
counting preseason wins this year. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm like Giants are 3-0.
Giants are 3.
Like if they lose like the first 3 games, like they're 3-3.
3.
It's all right. We're good.
Fine.
We're at 500.
500's
feels
not that
better.
bad.
Yeah.
It
It
feels
feels
a
better.
lot
You
better
gotta
when
do
you
what you
think
gotta
of
do.
it that way.
It's been tough.
It's all about a mindset.
It's
too,
been
so
a
that
really
helps.
bad run
It's
for
just-
the Giants
It's
for a
just
few
tough to be a
years
New York
now.
sports fan in general.
Some days it's really hard.
Yeah, unless you're like an NYCFC fan. I think they're like they were chill. a
Or
couple years
like
ago. But they beat the Revs, and that's the one team from New England I support. So.
yeah, they did do that. Was that the game we were at?
No. Well,
Or just
no,
generally?
this was like
Oh.
this was the Revs won. Sorry, tangent. The Revs won the Supporters Shield in 2021. They had the best record I think in the MLS ever with like 73 points.
That's good.
And then they lost in PKs because Matt Turner couldn't make a save
Ooh, that's
in round 1 of the playoffs, and all my hopes and dreams were crushed. And it was the day before my birthday, and
It all comes back to your birthday a lot of times.
Dude, a
I'm
lot
sorry,
of stuff
I mean,
happens.
It's been tough. Like,
December is always a month.
Yeah.
There's always
Yeah.
things happening in December that
I think the Rangers play the
like
Devils
my
on
birthday
December
is
2nd.
December, right?
So
Oh,
like
wow.
There's
that's tough.
always like an Islanders blowout loss in December, and I'm always there. So
Can't wait for those blowout losses, but
I
not
can.
the Giants this year.
not the Giants.
Not the
No.
Giants.
Every
No,
game will be
no.
close.
They're
Please.
just too fun of a team right now.
Yeah.
I just love how we're talking about this team like it's 10 games in.
Yeah. We just have
And they're gonna
no.
be 10-0.
I
Come
actually
on.
think the beauty of the Giants this year is that we have no idea what they're going to be.
Yeah.
They could. I mean, listen.
All
There's
the, all
they
the
have so
previous
much
years
potential,
we've
is the
known
thing.
exactly what's going to
Yeah.
happen.
Yes.
This year,
I
I don't
it's
think
like
you
feasible
completely do.
that they're not terrible.
it genuinely is not fair how tough their schedule is.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that's like the best representation of like who they are as a team.
Yeah. Even playing a
that's
team
what-
like
Yeah.
the
and when they go down
Broncos.
4-0-5, whatever it is,
Yeah.
then like that.
3 and 5.
Also,
3 and 5.
sorry, 3
Yeah.
and 5. That's like a mindset thing too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
coming back after a 5-game losing streak, it's like
Well, then I see people being like,
That's
if the
tough.
Giants are, not doing well mid-season or whatever, like, Daves is on the hot seat. And I'm like, all right, I think that might be a little crazy.
yeah.
Like, do you think that's crazy to put, like, Brian Dable?
I don't
he's
know.
had Daniel Jones the past
I
couple
think
seasons. Like,
they've-
it's not exactly a fair...
They've kind of set themselves up in a better position job-wise because like they have a whole new quarterback room. Like everybody knows they're essentially starting over, so it's easier for them to be like, well, if they're so bad. Also, they have the schedule. Like if they're that bad, it's like, well, it's kind of a transitional year, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know. I don't really know.
Seems like the common sentiment. But I think the other thing that we don't know is just in general what's up with the New York Jets.
Yeah.
Sometimes I forget that like the Jets also play at MetLife, but I have one of my friends, we support all the same teams except for like football, but I didn't like clock this right away. So I was like talking about the Giants and he was like all of a sudden like trashing on the Giants and I was like, "Man, I thought we were on the same team."
Wow.
He's like, "No, I'm a Jets fan." And I was like,
Brutal.
"Oh, okay, so like we're not friends
Poor
anymore."
guy.
But
Yeah.
the Jets did lose to the Giants in the preseason.
Yeah, but like, yeah. Although the Jets did
Was
beat
that surprising?
the Jets beat the Giants in the preseason last year because I was at that game and that was kind of a foreboding.
We
Like,
were at Daniel Jones' last game ever as a Giant too. Sorry, I gotta stop mentioning Daniel Jones.
Dear
It's
God.
over, but it's never
it over?
I don't feel like it's ever over. Like I will be tuning into the Colts this year.
what?
For Daniel Jones is
And the
crazy.
Colts are gonna be bad. Colts are not gonna be good.
What if like Daniel Jones finally pulls out like, what he pulled out like
Then
against
why would
Minnesota?
you want to see that for a team that's not yours?
Because it's like Indianapolis. Like what do I have like for that? Like I don't care. The Colts, like, do they even have any fans?
Probably not.
Well, they probably have some left over from the Peyton
they got
Manning
the
era.
leftovers.
They've leftover.
They got the leftovers, yeah.
Oh my
Wait, I'm
God.
trying to arrange our special guest right now, so
Oh, yeah.
sorry if I.
No, that's okay.
We have a special guest going, but
special guest.
Special
You just
guest.
gotta
I
stay
mean,
tuned. You gotta stay
I'm on
tuned.
the edge of my seat right now.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't name dropped who this is.
No, we haven't.
I mean, and if
This-
Grace,
well, the fact that I'm texting them probably reveals a little bit.
Shh.
Okay, sorry, I'll keep
No,
it a
you
secret.
know a lot of
Sorry,
people, Grace.
I know a lot of
Yeah.
people. I have some phone numbers.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say, I think you probably have a very extensive contact list. That this could be
Yeah.
anyone.
someone could be like calling in from Paris right now. Like you never
I
know.
mean, I would love to make that.
I'm a little
happen.
alarmed
What? By
at
Paris?
how we keep bringing up Paris.
There's gonna be.
What if we have listeners
This
in
is
France?
just like rage bait. Lydia's rage bait for me.
I feel like I'm a big fan of like rage baiting people. Like I think that's one of my hobbies.
you think yeah.
No, I just am. But I get rage baited really easily, and I'm like well aware of it. Like you could say something to me, I'll be like, I know that's rage bait, but I'll fall for
But
it.
I'm still gonna get mad. Yeah.
Yeah,
I do.
I will get. Well, yeah, Gabby, you did do that with Paris. I was like, Gabby, don't get mad at me, but Paris stinks, and you're like, I know. I get rage baited by I got rage baited very easily on my first ever one-on-one by Chris Carino.
Oh my God. Oh well, that
Oh,
happens.
With
Yeah.
and it was of course about Daniel Jones.
It all comes back to Daniel.
It
really
always
does.
does.
Wait, do you say it was from Chris too? That's brutal work.
Yeah, I was.
That's absolutely.
It was like before the season
That's so
too, or it was.
classic.
He had like didn't know it was like he played like 4 games and his QB rating was like really good. And I was like MVP season. Grace, do you wanna take the mic for a second?
Do I want to take the mic for a
Yeah.
second?
Do you want to introduce our special guest?
We have a special guest, and this special guest is very special to me personally because she's my mother, and she's a friend of the show, a friend of the station.
Clap it
She's
up.
around a lot, and Judy Batista is an NFL media reporter, NFL Network reporter, co-host of The Insiders, and senior national columnist for NFL.com. I believe I just hit them all. Hi, Mom. How are you doing?
Hi, guys. How are you?
We're
Thanks.
good.
You did get all my titles. I didn't know that you knew my titles. So thanks.
Of course, I know your titles. Thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Sure.
We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Well, we've talked a lot about the Giants. It feels like we also have to talk about the Jets. And I read something interesting this morning from Jets GM Darren Moji. I don't know if I pronounced his last name correctly. Thank you.
Moody.
He said that Justin Fields could have a Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold-esque arc, whereas he
Nah.
goes to another location, another team from his original one, and thrives there instead of his original one. What do you think of that? Do you see that happening?
I think it can happen, especially because I think this is really the first place where I think they're really invested in Justin Fields being successful. I mean, they certainly were when they picked him in the first round in Chicago, but they did not have the infrastructure around him that they needed. They didn't have, sort of top-level quarterback coaching there. They didn't have the players around him, so that didn't work out. Pittsburgh, they brought him in, and he was in this quarterback competition, but he's in this quarterback competition with Russell Wilson, who Tomlin always wanted Wilson to be the starter, and then he got hurt in training camp, and so they had to start Justin Fields. So even though they liked Justin Fields and he did well when he was playing, Fields surely knew all along that they really wanted Russell Wilson, and then of course they benched Fields and put Russell Wilson in the middle of the season. So this is the first time that there are people in place, people around Justin Fields who are all in on him being successful, right? I mean, he is the starting quarterback. They didn't bring him in for a competition. He's the guy. So I think that's different for a player. I think, even professional athletes need to have people who believe in them. And, that was certainly the case with Sam Darnold. Now, Sam Darnold happened to go to the Vikings, who have maybe the best, quarterback whisperer, play caller in Kevin O'Connell, who's in the league right now. So that was an ideal situation. But, I mean, Baker Mayfield, you see how the renaissance Baker Mayfield has had in Tampa, 2 or 3 successive offensive coordinators have gotten head coaching jobs from coaching Baker Mayfield there. So I do think it's possible for Justin Fields. We'll see. I mean, it's a new offensive coordinator. He's never been an offensive coordinator before. So that's always, a little bit of a roll of the dice. You don't know how that's going to go. I do think it will help Justin Fields that Garrett Wilson, his college teammate and good friend, is right there on the field with him. I mean, you sort of see how important chemistry is in the NFL. You see it with Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. I'm not comparing them because those two are in the stratosphere, but it helps. It helps to have that pre-existing chemistry. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned Garrett Wilson, and in the past, I don't think he's had a bunch of people behind him. So, maybe you kind of alluded to it just in that statement there. But do you kind of see, looking at the preseason and the first couple games, that he will have a better support system kind of around him this year?
Garrett Wilson, you mean?
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers never really clicked. And obviously once Devontae Adams got to the Jets, all of Aaron Rodgers' attention was on Devontae, and you sort of understand that. Garrett Wilson is a star. I mean, he has not had. Obviously Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback, but that didn't work out so well. He has not had great quarterback play to play with. He is such a superior talent, and he wants to win so badly. Like, his frustration the last few years has been so obvious that, like, in the locker room after games when you'd be talking to him, on multiple occasions I thought he was going to start to cry. He was so frustrated. So I do think better days are ahead. And I should say this, like, he still has 1,000-yard seasons. Like, he's still just ridiculously productive. He was the offensive rookie of the year. But I do think his best days are ahead of him because he has not had an ideal quarterback situation yet. Even though he had Aaron Rodgers there, that did not work. And so Garrett Wilson is an absolute star. They gave him the long-term contract, so he's going to be here. He's a stud, and I do think that the fact that Justin Fields has the comfort level, and undoubtedly as Justin Fields gets comfortable himself, he will rely on Garrett Wilson, right? I mean, he's the go-to, and I think that will certainly boost Garrett Wilson's production this year.
Well, Judy, I have two thank yous quickly. One, thank you for calling in to help us with this segment, and two, thank you for letting me have Grace for the summer. In London. It's a ton of fun. I know you probably missed her, but don't worry, I kept her company. But I do want to ask about Micah Parsons.
I don't even want to know. Okay, so let's go.
I didn't even tell her to say that, Mom. That was just from the heart.
Yeah, obviously other big NFL news this week. Micah Parsons was traded to the Packers, and I also have a friend who's a big Packers fan, and he seems to think that they're going to be an incredibly competitive team this year, even make a run for it. Do you think, I guess this is a two-part question. One, how do you see the Packers season panning out now with this new trade? Two, because we always have to circle back to the New York Giants, do you think this, the sentiment around the Giants' schedule being a little bit easier will make it any different for them? Because for some reason, people online really think that now that Parsons is out of the division, that the Giants will have a couple more wins, per se.
Well, I have not checked in with any of the Giants people, but I can only assume they did cartwheels when he was traded out of the division.
I certainly did.
He used to murder the Giants, murdered the Giants. Like, if you have watched any of the news coverage, the highlights they show of Micah Parsons are invariably of Micah Parsons versus Giants. Always. He is just destroying the offensive line. He was unstoppable when he faced the Giants. So they have to be elated that he is out of the division. Listen, I think anybody who no longer has Micah Parsons on their schedule is happy that he's not there because he is the kind of player who can wreck games you had to game plan for. He might be the best defensive player in the league, even though he hasn't won defensive MVP yet. He's just a game wrecker, and he's only now entering the best years of his career, the prime years of his career. So I do think it's a good thing for the Giants. I think it's a good thing for the Eagles, too. I think it's a good thing for everybody. So it's a good thing for the Giants. It's not a good thing for the Dallas Cowboys, which is an entirely separate topic. It's a confounding that you would trade away a player of that caliber at that age, at that position, which is why I think it's great for the Packers. If you watch the coverage yesterday when all of the Packers officials spoke, Brian Gutekunst, who is their general manager, kept saying this is such a rare opportunity. Like, players like this at that age, at that position, do not become available. They just don't. And so to have him be available and be able to get him onto a team that was already a playoff team, that won 11 games last year despite Jordan Love being banged up like all season long. He just had a litany of injuries, including a knee injury. He mostly played through it, but he was not the same quarterback that he was the year before. He was nowhere near his normal self. They still won 11 games, and they didn't have a game record like Micah Parsons. Their defense was a top 10 defense, but the one area where they were sort of more middle of the pack in the NFL was on pressuring the quarterback and hurrying the quarterback and hitting the quarterback. Well, that's what Micah Parsons does. I mean, this is what he does on the field. He just blows things up. So it's very good for the Packers. They are I do think that this elevates them into the small number of teams that you could look at and say they will challenge the Eagles. The Eagles are still a very, very, very good team, and we have seen Howie Roseman, their general manager's ability to just restock even when they lose good players. So I would still say that the Eagles have to be the favorite to repeat as the NFC champion, but certainly you now look at the Packers and say they have a real opportunity here.
All right, well, that's going to do it for our NFL segment. Thank you, Mom, for joining us. Love you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Love you.
NFL media reporter and my mother, Judy Batista. Now, we have to go to a quick break, but we have a little more football talk coming up. It is not over. When we come back, we're going to get our video producer, Nathan Rogers, behind the mic, talking a little college football. Big day today.
What's up, everyone? It's Joe Henry, one of your New York Mets beat reporters for the 2025 MLB season. From Soto's slugging to Senga's strikeouts, I'll have you covered from Citi Field all year long. Follow me on X at JoeHenry_4 for exclusive interviews, game day insights, and live coverage of every play. So take a ride on the 7 train with me as the Mets continue their quest for World Series glory. WFUV, your home for New York sports.
Hi, I'm Grace McCarron, and I'm one of your 2025 New York Mets beat reporters for WFUV Sports. Follow along on X at Grace McCarron_ for live game updates, features, and other inside content live from Queens all season long. From Lindor's leadoff blasts to polar bear bombs by Pete Alonso, WFUV Sports has you covered every step of the way as the Mets make the charge towards October. WFUV is your home for New York sports.
We are back, and we're still talking some football now to the college side of things. Pretty big weekend one, with a bunch of top 25 matchups at noon kicking off. We have number 1 ranked Texas versus number 3 ranked Ohio State. Later in the day, we have another top matchup, number 4 Clemson versus number 9 LSU. And also, don't forget it, we have Fordham football that kick off at 2 p.m. Yeah, clap it up for Fordham football.
Let's go.
Rams.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Go Rams.
They're up
Here
in
we go.
Chestnut Hill, not Boston. They're playing Boston College, but Chestnut Hill, Newton. Always have to make sure to let BC kids
Make
know
that
that they're not in
clarification,
Boston.
right.
Yeah.
FUV alum Chaz will be in attendance, by the way.
Oh,
Wow,
that's
that's
huge.
huge.
All right.
Huge.
All right.
They must
Fordham
win now.
football winning.
Fordham football is
They're
going to
probably
cover
gonna
the.
win.
Yeah, no, they're not. It's going to be like an undefeated, or not
Oh my
undefeated.
God.
They're not going to give up a run.
Yeah,
Not a
no,
run.
no.
Oh my goodness.
Boston
These
College getting
sports.
0 points.
Zero.
Yeah.
Absolutely 0 points.
0 goals.
No tutties. No tutties.
Yeah, no touchdowns. But we have 3 big matchups that we just mentioned. 2, bigger than maybe the other one. But Nathan, of all of those matchups, which one are you most excited to watch today?
Also, thanks for having me on.
Oh, yeah.
By the
Yeah,
way,
welcome
I
to
was,
the
Right.
show.
I was
This is
behind
Nathan
the board.
Rogers, our
Welcome
video
to the
producer.
show.
I was
Welcome to the
behind the
show.
board making the graphics, but now I'm taking the reins. So,
The graphics, yeah.
but college football, I love college football. I just love the atmosphere, the bands, the aura. But honestly, I love NFL, but college football will always be like the NFL's little brother. But honestly, this season with all of the NIL, now college schools can pay players directly now, which is huge. It changes the landscape a lot. So, usually week 1 when you get a couple big games, but never has college football season opened with such high stakes. Like 3 of these like weekend games feature a matchup between 2 top 10 opponents. This might be like the best opening week in like sports history almost. Like it really is crazy, and I love this Texas Ohio State matchup. Obviously Ohio State coming off the Natty win, Texas back-to-back NCAA semifinalists. But Ohio State, I like this team, but honestly, like the championship hangover is real, and I'm just being honest. But the best part of this matchup is the QB matchup. Arch Mania is here after all the hype, especially from high school to college. Everyone was like, where is he going to go? Where is he going to go? Chose Texas, obviously, but he chose to sit out for a couple years and sit behind Ewing. And so now it's like you have one of the best, like they're saying he's going to be the number 1 pick, and he's not even thrown 100 passes in his college football career. But I really like this kid. He's very like self-deprecating. He can laugh at himself. He's very true to himself, and it comes from the family. Like, I don't know if he had a different last name. I don't know if it would be different, if we would be like talking about him differently. But honestly, like
We definitely probably would be.
probably
Yeah.
like he probably wouldn't be like the number 1 like guy right
But
now.
in his own right, he still is very worthy of.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What he-
Very good, very good. He's like 6'4", he's 21 years old, but he's like probably the most mobile Manning we've seen. Obviously, like Payne and Eli weren't that mobile, but Arch really has it, and he's got the arm. He just has a lot of raw talent, and I also just love his personality. But one thing to look forward to for this game that also kicks off in 9 minutes, of the 2 teams between Ohio State and Texas, they're replacing 26 draft picks from last year's draft.
Wow.
26. So we're looking at a whole new landscape for these 2 teams. And
That's
Ohio
a great
State.
stat. That is
Yeah,
a great stat,
that's
Nathan.
really
Thanks, Nathan.
interesting.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nathan. No, but Ohio State also has Matt Patricia coming from the NFL. He's replacing Jim Knowles as a
Matt
DC.
Patricia.
And I think they're really going to just focus on protecting their quarterback. Like Julian saying it has the keys to Ryan Day's offense, but he needs to play in the system. I know a lot of people don't like hearing that when talking about quarterbacks, but
Yeah, Tom Brady won all his Super Bowls because he's
he needs to be
quarterback.
safe. If he goes out and plays hero ball, I just don't see them winning this game. And I mean, Urban Meyer was on Fox a couple days ago, and he was just like, easy, simple goals. Every series is different. Go get 2 first downs, just 1 step at a time. Because if he goes out there, his first career start, and tries to, like, the Texas defense is really good. On every level of the defense, on all 3 levels, they have, I know that it's preseason, but they have All-Americans on every level of the defense. They have Colin Simmons up front. Anthony Hill might be the best linebacker in college football. And then Michael Taft is a safety. He was a preseason All-American. So I really think this Texas defense is one of the best defenses this Ohio State team is going to see. So I think Julian Sand needs to go out, obviously with the keys to the offense, but needs to just go out with simple, easy goals, going out early. And I'm really just excited to see Arch Manning play. Like, I've been itching to see this guy play for a while. Just the brains, the competency, the like high school to college arc that all the Mannings have is just like incredible. And I just love the atmosphere of college football. So I think I'm really excited for this matchup, and kicks off in 7 minutes.
Do you have a prediction for winner?
I think Texas is going to run away with it. I just don't think – I think the defenses are really good in this game, so I don't think it's going to be too high scoring. And with these new quarterbacks, you never know. But the Texas backfield is something to look out for, because I think C.J. Baxter is returning after missing last season, and Trey Wisner is like really good, and he's coming back too. But I think Baxter might be better than Wisner, and I think this Texas backfield is really going to surprise Ohio State. Obviously, Jeremiah Smith, but Jeremiah Smith couldn't really do much in the playoffs in that one game. Like, he was like kind of shut down that first half. So I think the Texas defense is really good. I think their backfield's what's like to look after, and I think Ohio State has the talent, but it's just Julian Sand for me. I just don't know if he's like ready to go out there and just like ball from the get-go. I don't know. I think he has to just go out, like play it safe for a little bit, and I think because Urban Meyer's not going to like push him too hard. So I have Texas maybe I'll take that back. Not running away with it, but I think they're going to win.
Well, earlier today, before we started this, our radio producer, Griffin Stevenson, kind of had a hot take that he's not the biggest fan of, two top 25 matchups in the first weekend. Griffin, I don't know if you're hearing this and want to hop on the mic and defend yourself, but I guess where is that coming from? And Nathan, what's your pushback there?
I honestly, it's literally just like a match. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna sour the hype that we get later on in the season.
That's valid.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's valid too, but I don't think there's anything better than like starting a season off with a bang. And these matchups are like crazy, and I love that. The one thing I do like that I dislike about college football, and I'll always dislike this, especially as a college athlete myself, like the amount of pressure.
Yeah, shameless plug, swimmer.
Yep,
Fordham
swim
Swim.
swim.
Shout out Fordham
Support
Swim.
Fordham Swim. We start next week. Anyways.
Let's go.
But one thing I will say about college athletics, especially college football, is like you make one mistake or like you have one bad half and the season's basically ruined.
Yeah.
Like
one loss, right? And you can't
one
even make
loss.
the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, granted, like Ohio State did, lose to Michigan and then basically win the Natty, right? But
I've never understood like the power rankings and like all of that stuff with college.
Well,
football.
now like
how do you get it?
The committee came out and they're like, oh, we're gonna like really like focus more on like strength of schedule and stuff like that, which is like they should have been doing that anyways, but because like SMU and all that stuff, but they didn't have they basically had an easy schedule. But I love it for the game, but I just don't like it from the athlete perspective of like. If you're I think Arch Manning's fine because like his family, he's been to big games, all that type of thing. But honestly, like it just hurts kind of from an athlete where it's just like a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure and like all that media and all the hype. Like if Arch Manning throws like 120 yards and he like throws like 3 picks, like he's going to have
every outlet is going to
like it's just and it's his first game, like so. But I do like the hype and the atmosphere that it brings. It's just like from an athlete's perspective, it does like kind of suck, like going into it like that. And also like people forget it is different for them a little bit, but they still have school. Like they're literally in school. Like,
they're still going to class.
And it's weird that like in NFL, like they hold up these like adults and like older men to like different standards than they do like to basically kids. Like Arch Manning's 21 and there's so much hype.
I feel like he would get he's going to get talked about more than half the players, not even half. 99% of players in the NFL.
And in NFL, obviously the season's different, but you make one mistake in the NFL, that's not going to ruin the whole season, right? But in college football, everything has to be perfect. So I do like it for the hype, and like obviously as a viewer, I think it's going to be great. But from an athlete, it's just not the best, not the healthiest, but I think it'll be fun.
Well, we have to go to break, but Nathan, thank you for hopping on. Once again, you see the beautiful graphics right here. Roughly on the YouTube stream. Those are Nathan's doing. But after this break, we'll actually hear from Gabby and Isabella Terracini, who, by the way, she's a big UT Austin fan there. She goes by the door, so I'm sure she's fired up for, in 2 minutes, her team to start. So we'll hear from them as well as Holly Rowe when we get back.
You're listening to WFUV, New York.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into a very special WFUV sports interview. My name is Gabby Price, joined by Isabella Terracini for WFUV Sports, and today we have a very exciting guest. She's one of the lead reporters on ESPN Saturday Night Prime College Football, Big Monday College Basketball, the Women's College World Series, NCAA Indoor Volleyball, and the lead WNBA announce team. I could keep going with her list of accomplishments, but let's introduce her. Holly Rowe, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. How are you?
I'm so wonderful. I'm actually in Chicago. I'm getting ready for a big surprise tonight. Candace Parker is getting her jersey retired by the Chicago Sky, so I'm excited to go to that. Candace doesn't know I'm here, so hopefully she's not listening to this, but I'm surprising her, and I'm excited to honor her tonight. And then I go to TCU football to dig into college football prep and get ready for my big games this weekend.
That's very exciting. It sounds you have a very busy day ahead of you. But let's kind of jump right into this. So obviously, just from even that, you have a very extensive career in a variety of sports. You covered everything from the WNBA playoffs to the Women's College World Series and volleyball, often play-by-play. So how is working across such a wide range of sports shaped not just your style as a broadcaster, but the way you're able to connect with not only athletes like Candace Parker, but also the fans?
Yeah, it's been fun because I was a varied, when I was growing up, I loved all sports. I really loved all sports. And so to be able to grow up at one point for ESPN, I think I was covering 8 different sports per season. And that was a lot. And, just trying to keep up with the rosters and the rules and, all the things. And then I hit a bump in the road. I got cancer, had a pretty severe battle with cancer, stage 4 metastatic cancer that really knocked me back. So I'm down to covering just 4 sports right now for ESPN. But what I love about it is I'm just such a fan of all these sports. Like college football probably is my life. I started going to college football games when I was 5 years old. This will be my 30th season covering college football games for ESPN. So it's just something that I'm passionate about. And I think it is good for fans and for connecting with the athletes because I think they see and feel that I totally care and that I really care about it. So that's important. If you're showcasing to the viewers how important it is for you, I think they're going to like watching your content and what you do.
Like you just said, you've been a part of this. You've been doing 8 sports before your cancer. So I just want to ask, like, you being a part of so many shifts in the media of sports and over the course of your career, from your own journey from the sidelines to the booth, what changes have stood out to you the most? What would you love to see happen for the next years in the industry and reporters like yourself in the coming years?
Yeah, I think the biggest change has been the social media boom, right? So before, when I was covering sports, like we would get a story and we would tell it on the air on Saturdays, and we were the only one that knew that information, and we could protect it and then do it in our game on Saturday. Now, anything that happens, it's out, it's gone already. So I have to work harder. I think it's made me better at my job because I have to try to find what isn't already out there, what's not already on social media today about this game, and try to dig more and be more creative. So I think in a lot of ways it's been really good because it's opened up a door that athletes are posting about themselves. Like I literally just did this today. I'm starting to prep my college football games for the weekend. And I go in and I look at everybody's social media. So I found this young man, he's a defensive end for Clemson, and he got engaged this summer, and he's engaged to a young lady that plays for the Clemson volleyball team. Like, okay, that's maybe an interesting story. They have a podcast together on campus. So like, I think social media has been challenging in that all the good stories are already out there because people want to get it out and click on it quickly. So I have to be better, but it also helps me that I can, get to know athletes better and then follow up on their stories when I get to meet them in person.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really interesting, but also very good perspective about social media. I think a lot of people kind of take it, as what you were just saying, that everything's already out there. So, it's hard to find those stories. But, I think that's a really interesting point that you made, that it makes you work harder.
just interesting also for me and Isabel as people who are trying to get into the industry. I think it's a good perspective to kind of get there. But so back in 2021, you did make history as the Jazz's first female commentator during their game against the Kings. So, looking back now, what did that moment mean to you? I'm sure you've, been asked this before, but what do you also think it means for women breaking into broadcasting? Especially, it's a male dominated position. So, just for you, what does it mean to you personally? And also just for, all women who, look up to you and see you as a inspiration.
I think it's really important because I want young women like yourselves to realize everything's possible, that there are no limitations placed on you because of your gender in sports. So when I grew up, I just grew up as a massive sports fan. Like I was obsessed. I cut out articles. I read coaching books. I became a member of the American Football Coaching Association, the National Football Foundation. Like I'm just obsessed with football. No one ever told me that that's weird for girls, right? So my dad just empowered me, and I never knew that that was something that girls didn't do. So I really think it's been important for me to move through my life and through my career, not limiting myself because of my gender and just saying, why not me? I've been studying football just as long as anybody else. And honestly, if you look around in the media, and unless the guys have played or coached, there's, probably 70% of the media who are exactly like you and have your exact same credentials. So I always like to think that it is important because it's showing you, why not me? I'm going to do the work and be just as passionate and to be just as great. And so I won't put myself in any box and limit myself in any way because I grew up being just the same kind of fan, and I'm just as diligent and studious and working hard as anybody else out there. And so my gender is not going to limit or define my role in sports because I won't let it.
I think that's a really important outlook on life in general. And I think you bring up a really good point that, nobody should limit themselves regardless of gender, sex, or even race. Like that is not anything that should happen. So I do want to talk about you being a representative for student athletes. You just said you love doing college football. It seems that you love doing college sports in general. So I just want to get your kind of idea. And we're two college students. So we just, as college students talking to a representative of those college athlete voices, what does these responsibilities mean to you? How do you approach telling their stories in a way that captures both their athletic journey and who they are as people?
I think it's really important because you are the steward of that story and that information, right? And so you talked a little bit earlier about what's different. One thing I'm concerned about in media right now is you'll see something on social media, and I've done this too. I've gotten caught, like I'll go to retweet something or click on it, and I'm like, wait, this just doesn't seem right. This doesn't seem like something this young person would say or do. And then you realize it's AI or it's fake news or it's been a, manipulated image or what have you. So, this just happened. I was just reading about this last weekend. Is somebody on a fan board for Clemson football put out there that Cade Klubnik had been in a car accident and was injured. And that information got to his mother, and his mom was very upset and thinking her son had been in a car accident. And it was just a fan. They think it was a fan on an opposing team that was just trolling this website. There's a ton of misinformation about everything out there right now. And so I think for you and young people and students in college right now, it's really important that you verify everything, 2 sources, make sure that what you're seeing or retweeting or clicking on is accurate before you share it. That's really important because those student athletes deserve to have their real stories told and not rumors and gossip and craziness that opposing fans are trying to do or whomever. So I think you guys have a great responsibility because you're caretaking the story of these people and these student athletes. And I think that's a responsibility you should take seriously.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great advice. And we're almost at the end of our time here, but I do have one last question for you. So you have talked about college football, college sports in general. Do you yourself have a favorite college football team? I'm assuming you do.
Oh, great question. I'm not allowed to root for a team. We really never care. Fans don't believe this. People on Twitter don't believe this. We really never care who wins the game. We always just want a great broadcast and a great game. But I did go to the University of Utah. So I would say that Utah is, in my heart. They should have a really good football team this year. But I definitely just want a great game. I don't want to be biased. I want to present both teams and all the information as fairly and unbiased as I can. But I also want to celebrate everybody's story. So I want to tell the good, happy stuff and celebrate both teams. So that's something I'll say. I'll say the team that I think is loaded and should have a real chance to play for a national championship, I would put Texas up there. I would say Alabama is a sleeper that I think people might have forgotten about. And I just believe and trust in Kalen DeBoer as a head coach. So those are a few off the top of my head that I would say. But then one last thing before we get out of here, I should have mentioned this at the top, but the other reason I'm here in Chicago talking with you guys today is I am an honorary coach for the All-State NACTA Good Works team. And we got to go to Loyola Chicago yesterday and surprise our new fall captain for the Good Works team this semester. And he was playing soccer in a soccer game at Loyola Chicago. And Aiden Crawford is our new captain. We got to surprise him. And you talk about why do I love college sports? There's something altruistic and beautiful to me about college sports. And getting to honor this young man yesterday, Aiden, he has started from scratch, from the ground up, a new Special Olympics chapter for Loyola University at Chicago. And they're helping a lot of people. They've had over 90 volunteers come. They're helping adults and young people with disabilities get involved in sports and athletics, which we know is very important for them. And so why do I love college sports and why does this matter to me is I get to see young people like you, like Aiden, trying to pursue your dreams. And that means something to me and really matters to me. So I was grateful to be a part of All-State NACTA Good Works team yesterday and honoring young people like you.
Wow, yeah, that's amazing. That's an amazing story. But Holly, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure to hear about your career and just everything that you've experienced as a female reporter and also just as a person the past, your entire career. But for Isabella Terracini and, of course, Holly Rowe, our guests today, I've been Gabby Price, and this has been an exclusive WFUV Sports interview.
to Grand
I was
Slam
gonna
for
say, I
some
feel like
reason. It's
nobody talked about
we
that.
looked up and it was like, oh,
It happened.
Yeah.
the base's icons are navy.
They're all yellow. Yeah.
Well, on Yes Network they're navy, but
Yes.
hypothetically they'd be yellow.
Yes.
Oh, and that ball went out of the park.
Oh, and now they're not
that's a
they're
grand
not
slam,
navy
you know?
anymore.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
But anyway, Trent Grisham has been pretty good. But I think this is the kind you got to sweep the White Sox. I think I don't think that should be a tall order. They swept the Nats earlier this week. I'd argue that the Nats are better than the White Sox.
I don't think the Mets swept the Nats recently, like the past couple.
I don't remember.
Like, I think the last week they actually lost to the Washington Nationals. Or
Did
is
they
it-
play the Nationals?
Why do I
this
think
week?
they did?
I
Or was it
can't
the?
remember.
Well, I know they lost to the Marlins.
Oh, they did. They went to
Embarrassing.
Washington anyway.
Yankees
Okay,
actually
but
have
then they
a,
put
Yankees have a
19
better
runs
record right
up.
now than the Mets. Sorry, keep going.
It's not the Mets segment.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Anyway, I think you got to fatten up with this weekend series, get the sweep, and then go to Houston. They can beat Houston. They can win that series. But then they play Toronto and Detroit, which are two teams that I'm a little. I mean, the Toronto series is really interesting.
I
two
just don't
teams
get
I'm
how
worried
Toronto.
about. I
is
don't
good.
really get it either, to be honest.
Because they always have that colossal fall off, and they haven't.
They're
had that
also like the players you think of besides Vlad on Toronto are
yet. Overrated.
like Max Scherzer, Chris their starting rotation is very interesting. Chris Bassett, Jose Barrios. They have, I think, Kevin Gausman. Like it's an interesting rotation of
Kinda
guys
sounds
that
like a
should-
retirement.
literally of guys that should be good, but like Max Scherzer's
It's
not
not
the same
20. Yeah, it's
pitcher.
not like 2018.
Like
Anymore.
he hasn't been bad, but like
He's
he
not
hasn't-
Max.
He's not
He's
Max
not like
Scherzer.
the Max
Nobody
Scherzer of like the
was.
Washington Nationals.
Yeah. But though that's a big series, Detroit is a big series. And then the Red Sox is obviously a big series. But yeah, Thursday actually marked the 21st time this season they've scored double-digit runs, which is the most in the major leagues. Did they score double digits last night too?
They've scored 10. The
Okay,
past
so
10
22nd
games. Yeah.
time, so they extend their lead. So that was good. 5
good for
straight,
them.
7-3 in their last 10 before last night. So you do the math.
You know,
on that
I
one,
would
but
like that
yeah,
stat.
alright, whatever.
If it wasn't for the fact that it's like they'll score 10 runs one night and then like the next week
Nothing.
they'll score like one run.
I feel like that happens to a lot of teams.
It does happen to a lot of
It's
teams,
very
but
annoying.
I feel like the
Very
Yankees like MO
Mets
is
do
like
that
that. They
too.
just like
Yeah.
hit like home runs.
Yeah.
Um,
And then they like
can't-
run out
They
of
can't get the ball in play. Actually, Volpe I had a home run last night. Or did he have a home run? He had 3 RBIs.
That's good.
That's crazy.
I think he had a 2-run home run. So we were all sitting like, oh, like Volpe.
Right.
I
Gosh,
love
gosh.
Anthony Volpe.
I love him as a
I
person.
want to love Anthony Volpe.
He seems like a nice guy.
He's
just
doesn't
not
deserve it.
great.
Yeah.
He doesn't deserve the hate he gets, but he also doesn't deserve the protection he gets from Aaron Boone.
I think there needs to be a real conversation
Like,
about
what season are we on with him? Is this his like fourth season, fifth season?
Would he come up in 2022 or 23? So it's
I
his
feel like it's been a
third or
while.
fourth. And he was good his first season, and he was great in the playoffs last year, which I don't think is something you can discount immediately. But it's also like if you're going to be this bad in the regular season when it's playoff time and you're like if you're come up to a moment where the season's on the line, like, are you really going to trust Anthony Volpe? I don't know.
It's not like
It's
it's
a
like
tough one.
Stanton like struggles during the season and then turns
Stanton
it on
is-
in the
right,
postseason.
That's
like,
totally he is
also
proven
he's not
himself.
struggling right now, but I'm just
Right.
saying like last season
Yes.
he was the Yankees' best hitter in the playoffs. That's like not something you like when he was poor during the season. That's not something you worry about with a guy like that.
Yeah.
Volpe, if he's
Volpe,
not
I'm
playing
worried.
well during the season,
How do you trust him
exactly and
against like
he's
the
not even-
Tigers
like,
or something?
He's
I
not.
don't know.
He's been making a lot of errors too.
You
Like, on both sides
you
of the ball.
can't really you can't make those kinds of errors in the field because those I mean in the playoffs like there's games lost because of bad defense and like that's not a risk that I think they can be taking
No.
at
I
this
mean,
point.
Game 5.
Game 5.
Talk about bad defense.
Talk about it.
What was it? The 5th inning? Or?
Yes,
I mean, it was just
I remember.
bad
Bad defense.
fielding is.
Yeah, you can't have
Quite
that in the
detrimental.
playoffs, especially because
No.
this team like
And coming off last year too.
coming
You
off
don't
last
have
year, and I think they can go back to the World Series. I know there's some people who are like, no, they're not as good, blah, blah, blah. I think they could go back to the World Series.
It all depends on who you run into.
It literally
Yeah.
depends on who it's who you run into, who gets hot.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
like
if they
the
have a-
Tigers have been amazing this entire season, which frankly is not something that I was expecting. I thought they would fall off a little bit. They just have not. They're 79-57. It's it's great. They're 44-25 at home. So if you run into them at some point, I don't know if they're gonna cool off at any point. I mean,
they were a scary team last. I know they
Yes.
they didn't get far. They were scary last year.
They were scary last year, and I think they're scarier this year. But I mean, you talk about teams like in the National League, like the Brewers. Like we don't know if they can stay hot for this long.
You were going on a Brewers rant earlier today.
I just don't like them for a lot of reasons.
She thinks they're frauds.
I think they're fraudulent. But that's
just like the Mets.
We don't have to. That's not true. But this is not the Brewers segment. It's the Yankees segment.
Rage
but
bait.
anyway, I think the Yankees can go back to the World Series. The offense
I appreciate that.
Usually there. I know you're not going to say the same thing about the Mets, but I'm just
Well,
gonna
you
be
weren't in the
honest.
World Series last year.
Right. You're not going to say anything nice about the Mets.
Why-
You think the Mets could miss the playoffs entirely,
Yeah.
don't you? Right. Anyway,
Finishing
I
last
would
in the
never say
league.
that.
I think there's like nine players on the Yankees. Wait. 8 players on the Yankees that are hitting higher than 251 batting average. Do you know
That's
who's
good.
hitting 251?
I don't know.
You don't know your own team?
On the Mets?
Who do you think on the Mets is hitting 251?
I don't
Gabby,
know.
do you have a guess?
Alonso?
Do you have a guess who's hitting 251?
Alonso's a pretty good guess.
He could be hitting 251.
Do you know?
But he has like a zillion homers.
Ever heard of Juan Soto?
Oh God, I should have guessed him.
Yeah. Not earning the big bucks, but I don't pay the bills, so personally wouldn't pay
Anyway,
a lot of money for a 251 hitter. But go on, Grace.
I
You're
think
just mad. It's fine.
this is just this is the
Yankees-
this is rage bait.
Stay salty.
I don't
Mets
know.
are 73 and
Lydia, you
62.
wish.
Yankees are 75 and 60.
So it's 2 games. Anyway,
It's a lot.
basically the long and the short of what I'm saying is that I think the Yankees can go back to the World Series. I think their fans, they've been on a nice little
Are
run
the
lately.
best.
Their fans sometimes get a little bit when there's troubles. Like with the Red Sox series, they get a little hopeless.
God
and,
forbid fans be passionate about their team and ride the wave.
That's not what
That's
she was
not.
saying.
That's not what I'm saying.
No, that is what you're saying.
Not at all. Because sometimes
for her.
everybody
I am
gets a
speaking for
little
her.
bit
Don't do it.
scared. And I don't think they need to worry. Like, yeah, would it have been nice to win that series against the Red Sox? Of course. But the season's not over yet. There's still a month. There's a lot that can happen in a month. So much can happen in a month. You guys could still win the AL East.
Sorry, I'm processing. I had the loading icon in my brain. Gabby, do you have anything to add?
I was gonna say, you had just this dead look in your eyes.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what's going on over
how
there.
much how long can we sit in silence before it's
Before
bad?
it's dead air.
Because it would have stayed processing.
no,
Sorry, Gabby. Go ahead.
Continue. Go ahead, Gabby.
No, I think I do think you're right, but also you have seen the Yankees lock out.
That's true. They've had bad stretches. I don't think
yeah.
this is a bad baseball
You've
team
seen
by
them
any
get to the end of the
means.
season and it's bye, and then they get to postseason, they're great, but
Yeah.
I mean, my biggest issue with the Yankees is I think still, I think for years, I think they're a very reactive team, not proactive.
Okay.
And I think my biggest worry about them is their pitching. I don't think they have a bad rotation. I want to start with that. They have a young rotation right now,
Mm-hmm.
inexperienced. I actually want to give a shout out to, I never say his last name correctly, Cam Schlittler.
Schlittler?
Schlittler.
It's a lot going on there.
I don't know how to say it, but his dad is the Needham police chief, my hometown.
That's very cool.
Right.
Good guy from
Very
Kurt.
nice.
Why are you looking at me like that? He's not.
Kurt's
he's
like,
not,
why are we
he's not
talking about this
supporting
guy
Needham
who
Police
none
Department?
of us can pronounce his last name?
Yeah.
You mentioned Needham a couple times now.
Yeah. Well, my hometown. Not exactly my favorite place in the world, but it's okay.
It's fine.
Suburbs of Massachusetts.
Yeah.
It's
A lot,
no New
lot of
York.
Red Sox
We
fans.
can agree it's no New York.
No New York.
That's where we
Nothing
can
is New
all
York.
come into the
Especially
agreement.
not Paris.
Yeah, but he's pitching tonight, and I've liked what I've seen from him. But going back to the proactive versus reactive thing, this is the same thing for Will Warren. And
Yes.
when a couple guys get on base with rookie pitchers, that takeaway pitch, that closing pitch, it gets tough. You might get ahead in a count, but it gets tough to throw strike 3, and that's okay. That's the whole point, is when you're a young pitcher, learning how to have that closing pitch. Those two, I don't want to keep saying his name because I feel like I'm gonna curse on the radio.
I was gonna say, I feel like we were playing a very
Schlittler.
dangerous game with
I
that.
think
Just call him Cam.
Cam.
We
We'll
know
call him Cam.
what you're talking about.
Will Warren and Cam, because I don't want to say Will because I don't want him to be taken for Will Cooley. First name drop of the show, by the way.
Just in case we get
Well, we're
confused.
It
only
is
at
12.
one.
It is
We've
12:26,
made it an
and that
hour
is
and
the
a half.
first name drop. So I'm doing good. Hockey season starting soon, but back.
The
back.
gates are open.
Five
now.
Yeah,
on 5 on
gates
3,
are
wherever you get your
open.
podcast
Yeah.
coming back
We got
soon.
2 more hours.
Gabby Price, Knicks beat reporter. Just wanted to shout that out quickly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, also was supposed to shout out that this is a while we're just in like a mixed bag of stuff. This is a fully women's crew, one-on-one,
Let's go.
unofficial,
Let's
but
go.
yeah. And of course, I mean, when I announced
Wait,
this, Kurt's behind the glass, so it just it
Our
makes
honor.
sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we got
always
Griffin
all-
and Nathan. was
Griffin
on.
and
comes
Nathan, yeah,
together.
all the
Whole
women.
bunch of chillers.
Yeah. But anyways, back to the Yankees. Yeah, I just, when that stuff kind of happens, I want to see, like Blake come out for a visit.
Yeah.
I want to see, even Boone come out for a visit. Not necessarily to take him out, but it's like then, he can't get that closing pitch. All of a sudden you either have bases loaded or you have, a single into the outfield home run. And for me, I'm like sitting there watching this and I'm like, could you not have just like come out to calm down your pitcher? Game planned him. How often do you?
But like it's Aaron Boone. Come on.
I know, and I expect more from Blake because I do think he's a good, pitching coach, but I just don't think like as a unit like they're proactive enough. And it's like I most recently remember this from the Red Sox, the 12-1 loss, because I was at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like sitting in the outfield like with my mom, and I was like, like they gotta come out for a visit. They gotta come out for a visit. Like Will Warren's first and second. He's getting ahead of the count, but he can't put it away. And then what happens? RBI. And it's like you can't even be mad at the pitcher in that moment because you're like, that's the point of mound visits. The point of coaches is to come out and calm your guy down.
Coach.
Right.
Yes. And like I was saying, how many times has the pitching coach come out, talk, one pitch, like it's an out.
Yeah.
Like that. Like it happens so often because baseball's such an analytical game.
Yeah.
And I just don't think they do that enough. And if you're not putting pitchers in the position to succeed, it really doesn't matter what the offense does. Because I don't know, it's when you get behind in games, like I know you can get back into games, but it's like tough for hitters to now approach knowing that they have to have an aggressive approach because you're down versus a conservative approach, take pitches, get guys on base. That's my biggest problem with the Yankees, and that's why I'm worried about like long-term success.
Can I ask
Go
a
ahead.
question?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna.
So Max Fried, he was having kind of a bad stretch at the beginning of August,
Yes.
but his past 2 starts have been both under one run or fewer. The last start he went 7 innings, gave up 1 run and 4 hits, 6 Ks, and then the one before that, 6 innings, 4 hits, 0 runs, 7 Ks. Do you think he's back to his normal self?
I think every good pitcher has a couple games where they're not themselves. Yeah, I would never Max Fried's not someone I would ever worry about.
Okay.
Even if he were to have say 5 bad starts like consecutively, I wouldn't worry. It's like Garrett Cole. Like Cole can sometimes give up a ton of runs, and you don't worry about him,
Right.
especially like going into playoffs. Like Max Fried, I worry less about him than like Rodon.
I agree
Because
with that.
Rodon has
Rodon
not
had a
not been that
history.
dog of that he was.
He's had a
in San
history,
Fran.
although he's been pretty good this season.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he's got
He's
a
got to
beard.
give him his props for being
beard.
better.
Yeah. I don't worry about Max Fried. Even like seeing those couple games, it's always like Max didn't have his best game.
Yeah,
What
they
about
all
that?
every good pitcher has a stinker.
Yeah.
Like Garrett Cole's had stinkers
All the
and
time.
We all, we just move on.
The thing is with
Jacob DeGrom, who I miss dearly,
with
had
bad
stinkers every
with
now and
good
then.
pitchers, like a bad outing, it feels like when it rains it pours kind of thing
Yes.
because they're so good that mentally it's like when their pitch isn't landing, they try and
gets
change
to
too
them.
much.
Yeah.
And then, they give up a lot of runs, but then they just get back to their ways for the next couple games and it's fine. And that's kind of what, Garrett Cole, a guy like Max Fried, any good pitcher really. So yeah, I really don't worry about Max Fried. I love Max Fried. Great pitcher.
Yes.
Glad he's on my baseball team. Gabby.
Yeah. Okay. No, I was just gonna kind of pose another question to you guys. You were saying, there's not they need to be doing more coaching than they are right now, and when they do get into those situations, not stop the game, but slow the game down for
take a breath.
themselves. Do you think that's Boone's fault, or do you think it's the bullpen coach? Do you think that's what's his
Matt
name?
Blake?
Yeah.
I think, to me,
whose responsibility does that kind of fall on?
ultimately Boone is the leader of the team.
Yeah.
So I would say it falls on him. And another thing I didn't mention
agree.
is it's not just going out for a mound visit. It's like knowing when to take your pitcher out.
Yeah. It's all of that.
Knowing
yes.
when to make the call to the bullpen, knowing like all of those things. They've always been so reactive. Like everyone in the crowd's like sitting there like, oh, you got to get someone warming up in the pen. Like he can't throw 2 pitches and then you throw him on. Like this is from bad to worse. And that's why I think like with these young guys, you don't get mad at them for a bad start because you're like, we could have helped.
Yeah.
Like there could have been something to be done. But maybe some people.
How long are you gonna let that go on?
Well, that's Aaron Boone should have been not the manager of the Yankees.
Need some change there, no?
Tell me about it.
Oh, boy.
But I don't know. Like that's pitching is young pitching and like deep in the postseason, even early in the postseason, is not necessarily something you want. I mean, they could always explore, pulling a Tampa Bay Rays and, starting someone else for an inning. You could always explore that because I don't know if I want would you want Will Warren as like your 4th starter?
I'm very confused. I was talking to my dad about this
because
he
has had some really good outings.
He's had some great outings. I'm just very confused by him because I think the thing is he's
young,
usually,
he's timid.
Right. But he's usually great at home, which is, you would not think that because that's a hitter's park, first of all. And then he's, he has the occasional bad start at home or away. Apparently he's much worse, according to what my dad told me. That was a couple weeks ago, so that could be different now. But, I don't really understand the Will Warren experience because he genuinely sometimes goes out there and looks like a 2 in the rotation. Like, he looks really good, and then the next start he's giving up 6 runs immediately. And so for that reason, I would say no, I don't trust him that much in a playoff game. I think they could maybe explore moving him to the bullpen for the playoffs.
Yeah, I like that idea. I also don't hate, bullpen games.
Not at all.
I think that's, I don't even want to say necessary evil because it's not it's
not,
very
it's not
much
always evil. Yeah.
It's very much a game. I mean, if the Dodgers are doing it, it's evil just because everything
just
the
'cause
Dodgers
it's them.
do.
Dodgers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Glad we can all agree.
Yeah, but I think that's going forward. If the Yankees can get more consistency from their pitching, a little more support, and being proactive, and just spreading out the love of runs. I don't need 10 runs one game if you're gonna give me 1 run the next game.
Yeah.
I think there's just been too much inconsistency in the lineup, and we won't even have time to talk about it. But another debate going on is Ben Rice versus Austin Wells, because Ben Rice has kind of taken that catcher's role from Wells. Wells has seen lengthy, I don't want to say he's benched, but Rice is hitting better, and I don't know if they see him as a better catcher. So that's a whole nother thing going on. But maybe that gives you reason to tune in to either Nosebleeds this week or one-on-one next weekend when we have more time to talk about the Yankees. But we're not leaving baseball, but we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to hear from Grace and Kurt, who did an interview with Tyler Kepner earlier this week. So more baseball, and then the other side of that, we'll talk about Mets. So we will get to Mets, but for now, we'll get the break, interview, and then we'll talk Mets.
Hello everyone, I'm Trey Rodriguez, calling you to tune in to WFUV Sports One-on-One, New York's longest running sports call-in show. We're live every Saturday on YouTube from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and later at night on 90.7 FM from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. We cover the latest news in the sports world with our wide range of beat reporters, as well as exclusive interviews with your favorite athletes. We'll see you next Saturday on One-on-One.
Want to be part of the Ramley? It all starts here. I'm Nathan Rogers.
And I'm Kate Cox, and we are 2 of your hosts for On the Hill, WFUV's exclusive podcast for all things Fordham athletics.
From the field of Moglia Stadium to the hardwood of the historic Rose Hill Gym, we've got you covered with the ins and outs of Fordham sports.
Every week, every play, every round. Tune in weekly wherever you get your podcasts. This is On the Hill.
Welcome back to One on One, New York's longest running sports call-in show. I'm Grace McCarron, joined by Kurt Sippel, alongside Tyler Kepner, senior baseball writer for The Athletic. Tyler, thank you so much for joining us today. Before we get started talking all things baseball, how are you doing?
I'm doing great to be on. So this is the longest running sports talk show in New York, huh?
Yeah, it's a
pretty cool.
title we like to brag about a little bit.
Yeah, did Vin Scully host it back in the old days, or?
Yes,
That's great.
exactly.
Michael Kay maybe at some point. I don't know. Right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, our first question, Kurt, do you want to start us off with the first question, actually?
Sure. So you've been covering the Yankees and the Mets for a very long time. I just wanted to ask, both of these teams coming into the year with very high expectations, both going through big rough patches, which team do you feel like is more poised to make a bigger run at October when their rough patches might end?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think they're both capable. I've seen plenty of examples in baseball where teams don't look good this time of year and then they figure it out or they get hot. I think maybe the Yankees have a little better shot of that because I feel like the American League is not quite as tough as the National League. And the Yankees pitching, I believe in a little bit more. You know, the Mets bullpen additions haven't been too successful the first month they've been here, and their starters, you know, I don't think have the kind of high end potential that the Yankees have, at least from Fried and Rodon when they're on their game. You know, I mean, the Mets they're good. I mean, you know, David Peterson's good, and I could see a scenario where they do go far, but I think I like the Yankees a little better.
So I wanted to just flip from baseball right now to your career in sports writing. I wanted to ask you about what was the hardest article that you've had to write personally when you were writing an article about maybe a player or a team, just in general?
That's a good question. I think, you know, being around during the steroid era, you know, I think we all have regrets for not, you know, for recognizing that was going on, but not really knowing how to get at it. Because if you didn't have names, then it was like reckless to make accusations, obviously. But I think the way to have gone about it was to just sort of present it as an issue of fairness. You know, we didn't need names necessarily, but just as, you know, really harping on the question of why there was no testing. You know, like you look back and it's kind of crazy. Why was there no testing? And they always would just say privacy. But that wasn't a good enough answer because it didn't really promote fair play, and it created a situation where, you know, some guys were doing it and others weren't, and some getting ahead and others weren't, and no one was looking. So it was really an unfair kind of landscape for the players, and they kind of just accepted the union's idea that it was privacy. Anyway, I feel like I could have done a better job maybe pushing that issue, or pushing the issue of like how GMs evaluate players when they may or may not be doing this. I think we could have just made it more of a drumbeat, so it was more of an issue that didn't get to the point it did.
So our next question, alongside reporting, you've written 2 baseball books released in 2019 and 2022. How was that experience writing those books? How was that for you, and how is that different from your job as a reporter?
Well, you use a lot of the same skills, you know, finding out where people are, and digging and researching and asking good questions, and you know, putting everything together. That's all very similar. I really enjoyed it. It's been really rewarding just in terms of, I think, the way people look at you, the way people sort of maybe assign you a little more expertise than you had before. And it's just a real, it's a point of pride. It feels even more special in a way as the years go on that I, was able to do those two. Hope to do more someday, but to be able to have those two, to look at is a really good feeling. I remember just being able to go, to just any random page and just sort of look and remember like who I was talking to and when and how that all came together. And it's a big project. You do something on it every single day. Even if it's just a little transcription or reading a research or article or doing an interview or something. It's like pretty much every day. But the key is really loving the subject and really wanting to do it. I could not imagine doing it for putting that much effort into something if I wasn't really passionate about the subject. So that was the key, and that made them both work, I think.
On the topic of interviews, which was the hardest athlete that you had to interview for one of your books?
I think the one I really wanted to get most was Steve Carlton, but he didn't talk to the media when he played, and he's kind of elusive, hard to get. But I was able to, talk to some people who I knew from way back, who knew him and knew his people, and I sort of impressed upon him that if I was going to write about the history of the slider, I couldn't do it without talking to the guy who threw and one of the best sliders of all time. And I guess that worked, and I was only expecting like 15 minutes, and we talked for almost 40 minutes, and it was terrific. So that was the one that was the one I most wanted to get, and I was able to get it, and also some like I was writing a chapter about in the pitching book about like spitballs and scuffballs and stuff like that, and I thought the Rick Honeycutt, who a longtime pitching coach, who had a nice long career, but early in his career when he was young and dumb, he had a thumbtack in his glove, and the umpires caught him like scratching up the ball, just a real brazen sort of thing, and I felt bad like asking him about something that that had happened so many years ago, but he was fine. It was just part of his story, and he's a happy-go-lucky guy, and he was fine. But sort of things like that, like asking Ron Washington about some of the moves that didn't work out in the end of Game 6 when they could have clinched the World Series. Sometimes necessarily you have to bring up memories that aren't so good. But most of these guys are pros, and they handle it just fine.
A little bit more of a fun question here. What's the craziest thing you've ever seen at a baseball game that you covered?
Oh, wow. Man, I remember one time being at Yankee Stadium. I don't know if your dad was there too, but just watching the game, and all of a sudden a fan jumped out from above and landed on the netting. And he was probably drunk, but he just kind of hung out there in the middle of the netting, and no one really knew what to do. Like, he's nowhere near anybody at that point. So like he's got to climb up the net to get to whoever's going to arrest him, I guess, or take him to the drunk tank. I don't know. So it was so crazy just sitting there for a minute or two, just thinking like, we're all just waiting for this guy now. Like, what can we do? They're not going to get on because it's dangerous. They're not going to get on the screen there with him. For all we know, he could fall through at any minute to some awful fate. So it was just like this guy had to kind of come to his senses and then, crawl up the up the netting, all the while wondering if he would fall through. And then, just to be wrangled in by the cops, it was really weird. It was like someone daring him, like, oh, you think that could support you? No way. Yeah. If you jump, I'll give you $5 or, whatever. Like, and all of a sudden the guy comes jumping onto the screen. I don't think it was the first time it happened, but I think it was the first time I'd seen it. So, yeah, that was old Yankee Stadium you'd see a lot of things there.
All right, and our final question. We kind of have to ask everybody this one. What is one piece of advice that you would give to someone who wants to have a career in sports or sports journalism?
Wow. I would say to be willing to, to be willing to go anywhere. Um, Obviously to be willing to work long hours and all that. But also just to really pay attention and be genuine in who you are and how you present yourself. And there's so much cliched writing or ways of speaking or types of questions that really serve no purpose. They bore the athletes, they bore the audience, they don't distinguish you. And so just really be mindful of not just using the same kind of tropes just to get by, because you really don't get anywhere doing that. And you get better interviews, you get better material, you get your writing is better, your speaking, whatever, is richer if you just stay away from those like sort of overused, boring kind of conventions. And that combined with sort of a authenticity and a genuine curiosity and a willingness to go anywhere, I think will ultimately push you where you want to go. I mean, you need breaks, you need luck along the way. Everybody does. But you find that those things that I mentioned are rarer than you would maybe think. And so if you can do those things, you stand out, and then you tend to get where you want to go.
Well, thank you so much for joining us once again, Tyler Kepner, senior baseball writer for The Athletic, and we will return with more one-on-one right after a quick break.
Hey everyone, it's Lydia Pirner.
And Grace McCarron.
And we are two of your hosts for 5 on 3.
WFUV's best, if only, hockey podcast.
With all the storylines in the tri-state area, you won't want to miss an episode.
How will Matthew Schaefer fit in with the Islanders?
And will the Rangers have a bounce-back season under Mike Sullivan?
Finally, will the Devils be able to stay healthy and hit their full potential?
Stick with us all season for all things NHL and Will Cooley updates on WFUV Sports. Welcome back into the unofficial women's edition of One-on-One. We have a new guest.
Hey, everyone.
This is Kurt, everyone.
Welcome, Kurt.
Kurt, do you want to introduce
Thank
yourself?
you, Kurt.
Or do you want me to give you an intro?
I would like you to give me an intro.
Okay,
Lydia.
this
hear
is
it.
my dear friend Kurt. He's hopping on because he wants to talk about Little Brother. He's a Little Brother fan.
Yeah.
He likes the Mets.
Yep.
That was a tough line. Now that I think about that.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, this is the Mets segment. So if you want to call in, you can. 718-817-2750.
I would say
But
call in. We recommend it.
I really don't know who would want to call in and talk about the Mets. So if you want to
Most
call
people.
in and talk about the Yankees again and change the subject,
Who would
Don't.
want to
No.
you can do
missed
that
your
too.
chance.
You
Even
very
Aaron-
much can
we've
do
hit
that.
a
Even Aaron
Yankees cap.
Boone doesn't want to talk
If you
about
want
the
to,
Yankees.
if you want to talk,
Yeah.
if you want to talk some golf during this section too, just hit our line.
Another thing no one wants to talk about.
Anyways,
Okay.
Kurt.
Oh, we'll be talking about it, Kurt.
Apparently
We're talking about it.
We're
Right.
also talking about if you want to call in and talk about the U.S. Open, Gabby and I
Hey.
are super hype.
Come on.
Anyways, the Mets gave up 9 runs to the Marlins last night.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Lydia,
Wait.
wait.
9 runs.
Don't
to
rage
the, to the
bait me right
Miami
off the
Marlins.
bat.
Could you see what the other score was?
Yeah.
What
you-
was,
how
what
many-
was the
how
Mets
many
score?
runs
9
did the
to
Mets
what?
score?
I just, it's concerning when you give up 9 runs to a
Can
Mets
I
team.
just give some context to our listeners? Luis Torrens gave up 4 of those runs. Luis Torrens is a catcher, not a pitcher. He had to come in because the Mets were killing the Marlins so badly that why would you waste
Do
another
you think he was
bullpen arm?
calling his own pitchers?
I mean,
his
that's-
own pitches?
That's actually
it
great
doesn't
content.
matter. Like he's
I
a baseball
mean,
player. He should be able to, throw a strike.
Are you
So you're
actually
saying
kidding me?
Aaron Judge should get out there and be able to throw 100?
Aaron Judge would get out there and throw 115.
Wait, Lydia, you're actually being
I
like
fear
this
no.
is you're not being legit here.
No,
This
you're
is like-
rage baiting me.
They were
She's
Lydia,
rage
And
baiting
you
me.
guys are
Don't
all
fall
falling
for
for the
it.
rage
Don't
bait.
fall
Every
for
single
it.
one of you.
Lydia,
You fell for it. You
I
fell
haven't
for it.
fell
You
for
fell
it
for
yet.
it. No,
Don't
you fell
point.
for the rage
Hey,
bait.
Lydia, I haven't fell
You-
for it yet.
I'm pointing. I'm pointing.
Point at me all you'd like.
Get
Oh
your
yeah,
finger
he turned. He
out.
turned. His mic got turned off because
My mic
he's
got
fallen
turned
for the
off?
rage bait. Thank you. Whoever
Owen
turned
wants
whoever
to
turned his
talk on that mic, so he can go ahead.
if Okay, so it looks
We're now
So
confused.
they're not.
Are we
talking.
getting a guest appearance from Owen or do you want to? Okay, no. Kurt.
Owen thought that mic 3 was just on, and we were hot micing the studio the whole time. You realize Kurt was in there, so he goes and just turns off. Big boss. main
Executive
producer.
producer
Thank
Owen
you,
Kelty.
Owen
Yeah.
Kelty.
Thank you, Owen. Okay, back to the Mets. Yeah, so 9 runs they gave up
Am I
last
back on?
night.
There
You're
we go.
back.
Yeah, they're 73 and 62, so 2 wins less than the Yankees.
Fewer than the Yankees would be the
Um,
correct term.
And they still Juan Soto's still hitting 251. That like I said, 8 players on the Yankees are doing better. Do any of you want
Average
to take the
isn't
segment
everything.
from me because I'll just keep rage baiting.
Yeah, I'll take the segment from
Okay.
you. Mets won 19-9 last night
9
against
runs
the
against
Miami Marlins.
They
had
lost
to,
to the Marlins the other night too.
They had to, who you.
All right, I'll
guys-
turn my mic off.
Right.
There we
Mets-
go.
The Mets won 19-9 last night. Jonah Tong, MLB debut. He did beautifully. 1 earned run over 5 innings. Loved it. Love it. Nolan McLean the other night, just doing beautifully once again for his 3rd MLB start. These 2 guys revitalizing the rotation that have been deeply struggling for a few days. Earlier this week, swept the Phillies. Felt really good.
So if we want
Felt
to focus on pitching matchups just really quickly,
Yeah.
I feel like McLean definitely has the place in the roster at the moment
What?
for a playoff spot. Nolan McLean,
What? Who?
You don't know Nolan McLean, the hottest pitcher in all of MLB.
Max Fried.
Blisters on his hands. He can't pitch anymore. Max Fried. His ERA is like 60.
Well, you just never mind.
Never.
Please tell me someone got that joke.
Yeah,
I got it
knew
too.
exactly what you
I got
meant.
it too, but it didn't
Just
matter. I
can't
wasn't
laugh
gonna.
at
I wasn't
it,
gonna say
yeah.
it. Nolan McLean is also definitely hotter, but
No.
Either
Sorry.
Okay, this
is
is
not
a
our segment.
show
Sorry.
Either way.
Sorry, my bad.
No.
either
Mic
way,
off again.
either way, I think that McLean has definitely hosted his spot in the playoff picture for the Mets.
Mr. Clean.
Yes,
Thank
he has
you,
definitely
Lynn.
hosted his spot in the rotation for the Mets in a starting lineup.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Tong will probably get there this year. I think
Interesting.
right now they're trying to see his stuff. I think he had a fine night last night. Watching in general on TV, I didn't love how hard hit they were getting him.
That's
Even in
valid.
those first 3 innings, I know the Mets defense was doing a good job at stopping a lot that was going on, but there was just something that didn't feel as right. He didn't look as comfortable. I mean, Grace, we've seen him start when we reported on the Cyclones last year. He looked a lot more comfortable there. It's a different stakes with a different leverage kind of thing. I think he has to get more comfortable at the major league level. I don't think he was as I don't think he's as ready as McLean. And we'll see. I think Sproat's probably next because you don't have as many pitchers right now that you can trust in this Mets rotation that you can pretty much start. That's why I think that Sproat's probably coming up in the next few weeks.
Interesting. I think it was a good outing for Tong. There were a couple of moments where maybe he could have been better, but I think overall this is a good outing for him. Obviously not
For
they're
debut
not,
too.
For debut,
No,
they're
It
not
could've
all
been
going to be
way
like
worse,
Nolan McLean.
yeah,
Like
and
listen, when you
if this is him being mid,
as highly
he can get
touted
much better.
as highly touted as prospects are, you never know what's going to happen in their debut because it's just a totally new crop of talent that you're facing. You could be facing the Colorado Rockies, and they're still that much better than the best AAA team.
It's true.
So that could go south very quickly. That's not what he was talking about. That could go south very quickly, and it did not go south for Jonah Tong. And I think he did beautifully. And I think depending on, Mendoza said post game he will definitely get another start with the Mets, and they're going to a 6-man rotation for the time being, which I think is good.
They need the change. Yeah.
They need the rest.
Gabby's heard me talk about this way too many
Clay.
times.
Players like Clay Holmes, who we have the whole season about, he's coming off being a reliever for so many years.
He's
blah,
been
blah,
better
blah.
though.
He's been fine. I'm not that worried about him. I'm just saying an added couple days rest for him and for
Could
Senga
only
too.
make him better.
It's only gonna help. It's almost never hinders the extra rest. And also on the offensive side, last night we had 2 home runs from Brandon Nimmo, home run from Alonso, Soto.
Soto had a homer.
Gave up 9 runs.
It's not but
Scored
the
19.
They scored 19 runs.
Gave up 9 runs.
Unbelievable.
Luis Torrens gave up 4 of those runs, and 3 of them were home. No, more than that. Was
Three
it
of
4?
them were home runs.
Yeah,
It was
3 of
just
those
4
were home
runs.
runs.
2 of them were on sack flies too, so it's
Yeah.
not exactly crazy
But it's not
hitting
really-
by the
it's-
Marlins.
They were up 10-0.
Yeah, they
In
scored
what, the
5
third
runs in the
inning?
first and 7 in the second, unanswered.
You guys are still falling for the rage bait.
I'm not falling for the rage
Well,
bait.
I'm just- you're just
informing
being
the
silly.
listeners.
No, you're falling for the rage bait.
There's no rage bait right here. This is not rage
This
bait.
is a
This
talk
is just
Every
show,
single
Lydia.
one of you
This
are
is
staring
just
at me because you
talking.
fell for the rage bait.
Well, what am I supposed to do? Look
I'm
at the
doing
wall?
a lot of pointing
What do
here.
you want me to do?
You-
Look at the wall,
you
Lydia?
and you.
Do you want me to just look at the wall when you're talking?
Yeah, why not?
Look this way.
Perfect.
Look this way when you're talking.
Yeah,
Next time.
yeah.
So I don't have to look at you.
Isabella
Look at you when
window
you're
right
thinking
there.
about it. Yes.
Yeah, look at her
Yeah.
instead. All right, I'm gonna pose a question, so none of us fall
Mets
for
are not
Lydia's
making the playoffs.
rage bait. I'm just not even listening to you.
You just did.
Are the Phillies or yes? Do you think the Phillies are a lock to win the NL East? No.
The Phillies are not a lock to win the NL East. I would like to
Not
hear
a
what you have to
lock.
think, Gabby, as well, before to get into it. Just what you think about it.
I mean, no, I don't think they're a lock. I think, I don't think the Mets can get there per se, but I think even seeing the Phillies in this most recent outing with the Mets, like
They're just not
teams
that
can
good.
beat them. Yeah,
They're not that good.
They're a beatable team.
Their defense, not
Keep-
calling on you right now.
continue.
Their defense
Kurt.
is just kind of. Their defense is really bad.
Yeah,
Their defense is really, really bad.
It's very.
Alec Boehm can complain about any hyperbolic microphone he wants.
I'll keep my hand
It
up.
doesn't matter. You can keep it. No one really cares.
Just don't even acknowledge it.
But they just don't. They are unable to really get through. You got tired with the other arm?
I did.
Yeah, great. They just are unable to keep up the high pace of play that they are need to be in here. The Mets, I mean, they don't have an easy schedule ahead of them.
Yeah.
The Mets have the Marlins, the Tigers, the Reds, which they have to win.
They gotta win that.
They
That
have
should
to
that
win.
needs to be a sweep next
That needs
week.
to be locked.
They have
yeah.
to win, beat the Phillies again, the Rangers, the Padres. I mean,
I'm a little not to cut you off,
Let's
but
go Rangers.
I'm a little the Rangers. I think the Rangers are better than the record says, which I
Clip
think
that.
is controversial.
no, they are.
Um,
They are better than their record says.
But
Their pitching staff is really
their
good.
pitching staff is good. They have some decent hitters, and then the Padres are like a legitimate threat for.
Well, the Padres are a real, just a really
That's a
real
really good
playoff
team. So those 2 series, and then obviously the Philly series right before, like there are a couple of series here that are a little frightening, but they do seem to have the Phillies number.
Well, because they're in the Phillies' head right now. It's like when the Mets
Yes.
go to play
When
the
the
Braves.
Mets go to Atlanta, it's never good.
No.
It could be the Mets could have 101 wins. and
But
it's
head to
never good.
head, they're in the Phillies' head. But
They're in the Phillies' head just in general, I think. Every time they go to Citi Field, they're in their head.
The problem here is
They're-
that this game is this
the Mets are
series is in
five
Philly.
games back.
Yeah, and
That's
they can
not
make...
you. That's
It's
not.
it's
you know.
not a ton.
Yeah.
But
Here, wait, let's look at the next Phillies
that's
schedule.
not to be like a math person, but I think that's like 5 games that the Phillies have to lose that the Mets have to win.
Well, look at their schedule. Look at the Phillies
No, I'm
schedule.
just saying like it's a little.
It's
I-
not
It's
easy.
not to say that they're a lock, but like.
It's not
It's not
easy,
going to be
but
easy. The Mets are going to have to go on
they-
like a crazy streak.
The Phillies schedule includes...
Which has happened before.
It
Yes.
has.
But
Includes-
that has to count on the Phillies. Like there's just there's multiple factors.
They play the
Yeah.
Brewers for 3 games.
Yeah.
They play the Marlins for another 3 games, which they're sneaky good. Woeful, as Grace would call them.
Yeah,
I
they
called
scored-
them woeful,
I
and
mean,
then they lost
scored-
19-9.
they
So I don't know
scored
why I
9
was getting yelled
runs,
at on
so-
Twitter. But
Then they play the Mets again, which that series matters a lot.
Yeah.
That's 4 games. Then you play the Royals, the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks, the Marlins, and the Twins. That entire series, they could have a losing record going out of
But
that.
what about the Mets?
They can have a winning record going into what they're doing.
Well, then I could just
Because-
say the same thing for the Phillies. I could say like, oh, they could have a winning record
but
playing
I
good teams.
don't
Good
see
teams
that
win
the-
against good
but
teams.
I don't see the Phillies. I know that the Phillies have a harder record at the end than I feel like the Mets do. The Brewers are the best team in baseball. The Marlins can beat the Phillies.
Don't tell
just
Grace
'cause
McCarron that.
I don't disagree. They have
They
the
are
best
the best team in
record.
baseball.
They are
They
mathematically the best.
mathematically have the best record.
Then you're going to play a sneaky Royals team that can probably beat you. The Dodgers for another 3 games, which they've been kind of mid, but again, they can definitely beat you.
I just think every argument that's being made, you can make the same argument for the Phillies. But I feel like
That's
that
the Phillies I'm talking
okay.
about.
Yeah.
The Mets schedule is hard. I'm not saying it's not. But you have the Marlins, which is like a series that they should have already been over with before they walk onto the field.
But it's
the
not. 'Cause
Tigers,
the Marlins took a game.
The Tigers are a really difficult team, yes. The Reds,
The Reds are not. I am down on the Reds now. I'm hoping that doesn't come back to me in a few weeks, but I'm down on the Reds. That's not a good baseball team. They're gonna finish with a losing record in all likelihood.
And the Cubs have been like weirdly bad since who'd they play? It was the Brewers when they played, and they've gotten worse after that. So after the Cubs lost to the Brewers, you got a whole weekend series with them. So you have the Nationals, which again you should sweep that series. You have the Padres, which again you should split that series.
Mm-hmm.
You should or lose it. The
Padres got crazy aura.
Yes, they do. The Rangers
like
are
most aura in the league potentially.
Not really.
Petco Park. The
they're playing
uniforms?
They're playing at Fordham.
The uniforms.
They're playing at home, so
I do like
it's okay.
I like the brown unis. Like the
I just think the Phillies have a harder schedule at the end of this than the Mets do.
Here's what I'll say.
The Mets would have to sweep that series against the Phillies, or take 3 games.
I mean, they just did it once.
But I'm saying like, then you have to count on the Mets to consistently take games that the Phillies aren't. I just don't think it's
if
that
I'm betting
reasonable.
if I'm betting on consistency,
I
will bet on the Mets.
I guess the question Grace asked was, is it a lock? No, it's not a lock. Do you think the Mets are going to finish ahead of the Phillies?
I don't know if I would say yes. But I think
can't
that's fine.
say yes, but I think
Yeah.
in the wild card, it's still fine that the Mets can be in the wild card position and be
No,
okay
it's okay.
with
I'm
it.
just trying to invalidate everything you just said.
No, I'm not. It's not. It's not invalidating what I'm saying.
No,
it's just
it's
a
just-
different way of putting
it's
it.
the truth
I'm
of the
currently
matter.
rage baiting Kurt. Like,
It's
it's
the
working.
It's not working.
It's the truth of the matter that it's
Denial.
5 games when there's a month left
That's a
of the
river in
season is not. It's
That's
not
the
a
Nile.
layup for the Mets.
No.
But it's also not impossible by any
No,
means because
no.
we've seen this team get hot.
Especially
they can go,
at the end of the season.
Yes, especially at the end of the season, they can go on a run, and
It
you never
happens
know what's
so
gonna happen.
often, yeah.
An improved pitching roster at
that's
the
what
moment.
they're bringing
the
this change.
Phillies,
You're gonna have
here's-
more rest.
Here's what we'll say about the
Yeah.
Phillies. That's a very deep rotation. It might be the best in baseball, but they did just lose Zach Wheeler, and he's their ace, and that can take the
Man.
wind out of sails,
Zach Wheeler.
which is a bummer. Good thoughts to him because he's a lot of fun, but they lost Zach Wheeler, their ace. That can take the wind out of sails.
And the Mets
You
still
never
really
know.
do have one of the best bullpens in baseball, even though they don't perform all that well all the time.
Ryan
When they are
do,
firing?
shout out the GOAT. I know.
Ryan
Why do you have such a good entrance and then you come in to blow the game?
It's kind of like how Edwin
man.
Diaz used to be, and then thankfully
Well,
he got out
but
of
Diaz
that.
is just like the legs were longer than one another. That's why. I mean, it's just how it
We
works
just have to-
sometimes.
Sorry to rain on the party, everybody, but time check.
We got
Time to
1 minute.
stop talking about the Mets.
Yankees fan is breaking up the fun.
Yeah, it's okay.
Boo.
It's okay. I've
She's
got
gonna watch Aaron
Nobody
Judge. She's
liked
gonna
that.
watch Aaron Judge black out in the postseason.
You guys
He's
needed
not
3
gonna
people to
hit.
try and keep up with
You have Trent Grisham
my
batting
just
lead. You have Trent Grisham-
extraordinary take
you have
and just
Trent
my
Grisham batting
incredible
leadoff because you have
incredible
nobody else.
Self-proclaimed,
ball
by the
knowledge.
way. And you paid so
Anyways,
much for Cody
anyways,
Bellinger,
we're
Lydia.
gonna take a break. But on the other side of that, we're heading to the country club, guys.
That was good.
That was
actually.
good,
I'll
right?
send you that.
We're
Yeah,
heading to
yeah.
the country club. Stay tuned.
Whatever.
You're listening to WFUV, New York.
Okay, so now that you guys had your, time during the break, tanning at the pool. There's pools at country clubs, right?
I don't
Typically.
go to country clubs.
Yeah,
so I
you're
wouldn't
tanning
know.
at the pool, relaxing. It's time to get moving, right? So you have 2
Get
options.
active.
You can go to the courts, or you can go to the course.
Wow, that was good. Oh, she's getting good at these.
Oh, I'm getting good.
Oh, wow.
She's warmed up now.
Yeah.
We'll start at the courts for
Beautiful.
your guys' sake.
Thank
So,
you.
allegedly, there's something really big going on in tennis right now, right? Did I get that?
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
We were just in Queens, and we're going to stay in Queens.
We're literally walking across the street from City
It's-
Field to
it's not
the
even
Billie Jean
across
King-
the street.
Billie
There's
Jean King Tennis
There's
Center.
a direct
There's, like, a
pathway. Yeah. So
Oh,
you
really?
know,
Yes, there is.
you
It's
wake
the
up in the
same subway
morning,
stop.
you get on the LIR, you head down to you
tough start.
No.
Or the 7
that's
train could
forever.
take an extra 45, and it's up to you.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you prefer.
Tough commute.
It's not the
Listen,
best.
No, but worth it.
It's worth it. It's always
And
worth it.
you know, I think personally, I think you start, at this beautiful tennis center that we have in Queens, right across from City Field. And it is funny going there because people are walking around doing Mets stuff all day. You're doing double day. You're doing.
You see Mets
tennis during the
jerseys like
day.
at?
Yeah, hats,
I would
everything.
actually love to do
It's-
like a day session at the US
that'd
Open.
be- I
again,
wanna
right
do
there.
it once, I
That
know.
would be sick.
I
That's like
am
my dream.
always wiped. Like I'm
Yeah,
always
that's
so
what- it's so
tired after a day
long
at the US
day.
Open because it's always hot too, and you're sitting in the sun. But kind of ideal day.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we just said what the event is. It is
The
the
US
US Open.
is
Gabby,
happening.
Yes.
I'm gonna hand this to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll
I took it back and then I handed it back.
All
On you, Gabby.
It's so much pressure. No, but for the past 2 days, I will say, a lot of upsets happening, and we'll focus on our Americans a little bit here because I think that's obviously who we're hoping do really well in this tournament, in New York, and there's not that many left.
We're losing them very quickly.
We're losing them very quickly. We're only in the third round. I, was a little. We did our predictions. They're on Instagram, wherever you follow us.
We did.
Go check that out. I had Francis Tiafoe as my runner-up. Lost yesterday in 3 sets. I was to an unranked player as well. I was upset
Alarmed.
about that.
Yeah.
At the same time, Ben Shelton, Lydia name that you
Yes,
know.
I do know Ben Shelton.
He retired in his 4th set. That's where I was like, the shoulder injury.
That was so sad.
I
Sucks,
saw that like he medically retired, and I thought it was like, oh, he must have had a gazillion concussions, like his career's over. That's crazy. But I didn't
No.
realize it just means like you can't finish the weekend.
Yeah, it's like you retire from the match.
And
that was with the terminology was weird.
It's
I was like,
very
oh my
confusing,
goodness.
Yes.
He had won the 1st set, lost the 2nd set, won the 3rd set, lost the 4th set, and then retired. So he finished the 4th set, which it was also crazy to me, just because you already made it to 4 sets. Like, why are you retiring now? But I will say he is serving like 140 miles an hour every single serve. A shoulder injury was bound to happen.
He's also been very active, he's got one of the bigger serves on the tour these days.
Yeah, but he didn't
That's
hit
kind of a
140 the other
risk.
day or something.
Yeah,
like that.
that's
He
what
was picking spots
Trinity
instead.
Yeah, that's what Trinity
Yeah,
said
I know.
in the post. Thank you.
Shout out Trinity.
But yeah, that was a bummer. Tiafoe lost, and then on the women's side, we lost Emma Navarro, but we did,
which we did kind of call.
We kind of
by the
did
way.
see that coming.
We're not the biggest Emma Navarro fans, so maybe that's a little biased as well.
Yeah, we saw that one coming. She was a semifinalist last year, so if there was any tournament that I thought she was going to go deep in, it would be this one, but she did not. But we do have Coco Gauff advanced today
She
very
just won her
easily,
match, yep.
6-3, 6-1, and
Let's go.
also last night Jessica Pegula advanced. And then
She
today,
won. And then Townsend also won yesterday. She
Taylor
beat
Townsend.
Andreeva,
Good
which
job.
honestly, good for her. She's winning
Good
the
for her.
tournament
You know
after
what?
that.
Taylor Townsend has cemented herself as one of my favorites this week because that thing with Yelena Ostapenko, we talked about it on Cross the Line on YouTube. You can view our episode.
Shout out.
But it was so bad, and I felt so bad for Taylor.
Lydia, did you see this? Did you see this drama? I guess controversy on with Taylor Townsend. If you haven't, let's fill you in. So they finished the match. Taylor won, right?
Okay.
And so they were at the net giving the post game or doing their handshake, whatever. Ostapenko comes up and is like, just starts being really rude. She's like, "You don't have education.
yelling
I'm
at
gonna
her.
be like."
Wait, actually,
let's-
I vaguely
let's get
saw
out of the
this.
U.S. Yeah, it just like kind of starts saying all these things, and Taylor she handled it very well.
She did.
But
she also was like not going to take that from
No, she didn't take it all. She
rightfully
she went to media and it was like, this is what my opponent just said.
Yeah.
Like, she said she wasn't racist, but comes off. She was like, she said I had no education. And so kind of tough to do.
Yeah.
In tennis.
And now Taylor Townsend was with a massive upset. Andreeva was the
round.
5 seed, I want to say. Like, she was very highly seeded.
I had Andreeva going far too, so.
But good for Taylor Townsend. That's a good story for the Americans. And then today on the America side, we have Tommy Paul in the late session against Alex Bublik. Well, that's an interesting match. Bublik has his moments. And then we have another thank you. We have another good night match. Alex Zverev and Felix Auger-Aliassime. I'm interested to see how that goes. I love him. I hope he wins.
Yeah, no, he's great.
Felix, looking at you.
I was watching him at the Open the other day, and he was playing. He had a really good first round match. It was honestly the best tennis I had seen all day there, and I was there for like 8 hours or something, like kind of bad. But no, he's a very good player, and he hasn't had a lot of great success recently, but I feel like he's a very sneaky player.
I think he could upset here. He's the kind of guy who upsets occasionally. And then we also have
and then it's like,
Amanda Anisimova at 4:30.
Yeah, yes. She's really good too.
She's really good. She's just a Wimbledon finalist, so
yeah.
There you go.
There's
a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. Tommy Paul will be a good match.
I think Tommy Paul's
Musetti won today.
Musetti won. That was also a walkover, but he was gonna win that match anyway. He was demolishing Kouali.
Yeah. No.
Like it.
A lot going on. I will also say on the women's side, Rybakina beat Raducanu, which is kind of
sad. I like Rybakina.
Sad. I do like Rybakina, and I think she deserves to have some.
And then Jasmine Pelly.
And then I was just about to say Jasmine Fallini also lost. So
a
lot of
Lots
third round upsets here.
Yeah.
Which it makes the field a little bit more wide open to some extent, but also, you still have Sabalenka, you still have Coco, you still have Iga.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at this tournament long term, you still have all the people who you would expect to win the tournament still in the tournament. So,
absolutely.
And obviously the same thing is on the men's side. You still have Djokovic, you still have Alcaraz, you still have Sinner. So the people that maybe should be winning this tournament is still winning. And I mean, that's what you want to see.
And we also have Taylor Fritz for the Americans. He's playing tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, we do.
4 seed.
Forgot about him.
Runner-up last year. But
yeah. So lots to look forward to here. But,
Well,
Lydia,
I was just going to ask Gabby, just because I'm curious. Like, you've gone to a couple of the matches, right, to cover for us.
I've gone once.
How was that?
It's so fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gone to the U.S. Open growing up, so it's
I liked the photos when you guys all like had on your on a graphic.
Oh,
you guys, it was all like a photo of you, like
did
really young,
so
and
that
with
was
some
me.
sort of U.S. Open.
I don't know what year. I can't remember what year it was, but I was probably like 10 in that picture. I'm gonna say, and like my whole family plays tennis. Like we're all tennis enjoyers, I will say. So it was very interesting going then as media because I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
I had no idea where I was going.
It's like it's a weird sport, I feel like, too.
And it's a lot different than, if you're going to MSG, let's say, there's like the media room.
Exactly.
And your city, like you have
area.
The one area that you're gonna be. The US Open, it's like you're just going to courts and kind of sitting.
Yeah.
So there's some sections where it's like these 25 seats are media, and then some of it is just like, you're just finding a open seat because all the stadiums are open.
I kind of like that concept because you can watch like a random player.
And that's the beauty of the first round matches too, where it's like there are players that you've never heard of before, upsetting, whatever. So it was a really fun experience. I really enjoyed it. I know I need to find a time to get back. I want to go to a night session.
Yeah, I've never been.
I went to my first night session last year, and because of the commute, it kind of stinks because, you know, the matches end at 1 a.m. sometimes, and then it's like, okay, I got to get myself back to the Bronx.
Long commute. Yeah.
Which can
It's
be
brutal.
That's just like,
kind of tough.
You're
yeah.
solo too.
And if a match is still going, then you're like, I have to leave to make the train. But
Yeah.
this amazing match is going on. That I was
That's always the worst. When the train schedules don't align with like the.
It's
Dude,
event.
they gotta add a couple more Metro Norths in like the 10 to 12 window because
especially
when they go to the
events are
hourly,
happening,
yeah.
you know,
yeah,
you
when they
think-
start going like 10:30, 11:30, I'm like, no,
Yeah.
that doesn't work for me.
I feel like I've taken that 11:51 train like so many times.
Yeah,
So
I'm
bad,
like,
yeah.
guys, we gotta give
We gotta get it together here. I know that'll happen to me from Barclays too, and I'm like,
Ooh, and that's a long commute.
that's a long.
Barclays
one too.
is always like the worst. You have to rush back
yeah.
on the
Yeah.
subway to try and make it
I'm
to
like, let's
Metro
wrap
North.
this press conference up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like racing to do the video. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, keep it to tennis for a sec. Yeah, no, it was really fun. I'll be interested to see who kind of wins this. And we also have Venus Williams, another name you should know.
I know. Yeah.
Of course.
She's still playing doubles, so if you want to watch some Venus Williams and doubles underrated. She's playing women's doubles with Fernandez, so
23 years
all
her
great
junior.
things. We looked that up.
I
the
love
other day.
that stat. I think it's hilarious. But yeah.
Yeah, no, that's 23 years is. It shows how long she's been on tour, and you know, hopefully they do well, and then Venus, enjoy your retirement.
Yeah.
I want her to retire. Not because I don't want her to play.
I
but
want her to
think
do
she deserves it.
broadcasting and like coaching. I think that'd be fun. You know?
Venus Williams.
Yeah.
How old is she?
45.
She's 45.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah, and
moly.
Layla Fernandez is what we say 23, 22.
Yes.
I'm 20 and I can't even like move like from like my bed to my kitchen.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It
Waking
is.
up in the
You know,
morning.
sometimes
old.
waking up, I'm like,
And
This
not
morning
even
was a
playing
tough
doubles.
wake up. I
this
was
morning
like,
was not easy, I will say.
my eyes were
But so worth it.
not. Yeah.
So worth it. I've had a great time.
Yeah.
So worth it.
Talking tennis,
For our
can't
women's show,
complain.
yeah.
Yeah, our women's show.
For our women's show.
Shout out people behind the glass.
Also women.
Yeah, what else? More tennis? Grace, what do you got?
I-
Sorry, I am like as
you're-
useless as it comes when it comes to tennis.
No, it's all
I
good.
No,
tried to
it's
learn how to play
worth
tennis
on
when I was
sure.
younger, and that was the one sport like I rage quit. There's
That's
not
what
a.
I would do with golf.
I will say there's not a. Okay,
That-
not to
yeah,
like
golf
sound like
is a rage.
egotistical. There's not a lot of sports that I'm like genuinely really bad at. Tennis and snowboarding. Really bad at it.
Two very
Snowboarding's hard.
random.
Yeah.
Snowboarding is
I
objectively
couldn't
hard.
even stand up
But
on the
I
bunny
think
hill.
You have hand-eye coordination, so I think you could try pickle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you
okay.
played
I've
pickle?
played.
Tried
Yeah.
tennis,
Have you guys
would
played
be
pickle?
fine.
Like pickleball.
Yeah, pickleball.
Yes, yes.
Sorry, pickle to the.
Is pickle like
that's to the cool
is like the
people.
cool
That's like-
slang?
I don't
Yeah,
know. I
Alright.
don't
yeah,
play
that's the
pickleball,
slang.
I don't
Okay,
know.
pickle.
Let me teach you.
All right,
Let me
I
bring
didn't
you
know
on.
that. I like it.
Anyway, one match that I'm looking forward to tomorrow is Rybakina and Marketa Vondrousova, who beat who yesterday? Wait, now I'm blanking. Who did she beat yesterday?
Rybakina?
She beat
No,
that-
she beat
that
Jasmine
person.
Paolini
Oh, yeah.
yesterday.
Oh yeah.
So that's an interesting match. Vondrousova must have been injured or just not around as much lately. She's unseeded, but she's a slam champion. She won Wimbledon a couple years ago. And then another match, Barbara Krejcikova, who's won 2 slams, and Taylor Townsend tomorrow. It's a good
Taylor
slate for the
Townsend.
women. We also have Sabalenka, Coco Gauff tomorrow, Jessica Pegula. And then on the men's side, tomorrow we have Djokovic and Struff. And Struff just beat Tiafoe last night. Interesting upset.
Poor guy.
Never know. And then Taylor Fritz. We also have Adrian Manarino, who advanced because of Ben Shelton's injury. And then Lorenzo Musetti, my guy. We don't know who he's playing yet. And as well as Alcaraz. We're getting to that. The second week of the U.S. Open is always a great time because there's always great players playing. So.
Yeah. I haven't. I will be honest. I haven't sat down and watched a Djokovic match yet.
Me neither.
But I'm curious to see how he's playing because he had
Same.
a tough first round match.
He did.
And do you think Djokovic is at a point? Do you think Djokovic? Sorry, I have a lot of questions right now.
Go ahead.
Djokovic isn't washed? I think.
No, I
when
don't
do you
he's
think he
washed.
gets there?
When he gets
Like-
washed?
Like,
Ooh.
when do you think he gets there? And do you think he can win this tournament? Because I don't think he can beat Carlos or Sinner right now.
I don't think
so
he
how
can.
long
I
do you kind of stay around if you know?
I think as long as Alcaraz and Sinner are in it, he's not going to win the tournament. if by some crazy happenstance neither of them are in the final, then maybe he could win.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen. But I also wonder about, like, if Djokovic played, like, a Taylor Fritz. I don't know if he'd win that. I don't know. It's kind of tough with Djokovic because every time we think
Fritz could pull that out.
I
He's
think
had good
he could pull that out. It might be 5-setter,
and
but
that might happen actually. That might happen.
That could happen.
If Djokovic beats Struff and Fritz beats
There you go.
They would play in the quarterfinals.
So
that'd be good now.
But the problem with Djokovic is that every time we think he's done, he's comes
not.
racing back. But I will say, he has not won a slam in 2 years.
Yeah.
Which is
not surprising.
It's not surprising, but it's also like,
well, he's
we're
been
getting
injured
to a point.
too.
He was injured, like, he was just off a little, like, stuff happens, but not for him. Not winning
he's
a slam.
38 too.
Yeah, not winning a slam in 2 years for him is like, I'm wondering, like, are we getting to the end? He's like non-committal about, is he gonna play Wimbledon next year? And Wimbledon is like his tournament now, along with Australia. He's won Australia like 10 times. It's kind of ridiculous. But yeah. So I don't really know. I think it could go either way, but I would not write him off yet. I'm starting to think that he's seeing the twilight of his career, though.
Yeah.
And that's fine. It happens. Time catches up to everyone. He's 38. It's crazy.
And I'm sure after seeing, he would be the last of the big three to kind of step into retirement, I guess. It's almost time, I guess. It's this new generation.
It's a new
as
era.
They say. It's a new
I
era.
will say I'm not like the biggest fan of Djokovic, but I will be kind of sad when he retires.
No,
'cause
I mean,
it's the end of an
I
era.
enjoy watching him because he's really good, especially when he was probably like 5 years ago or so. But yeah, no, in terms of like, I guess personality or I don't know.
Yeah, he's kind of divisive on
sometimes-
that end.
Yeah.
He was never as beloved as Federer and Nadal, obviously, but it is kind of the end of an era. It's like a lot of our childhood, like even beyond the big three, obviously like Andy Murray is out, Stan Wawrinka is not really around, Juan Martín Del Potro, who I loved, my mom and I loved him.
Yeah.
He's been out a long time. A bunch of other Dom Thiem, when he retired, I loved him too. Like we're getting to the point where it's like totally turning the page.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer.
Yeah, Jack Sock, remember him? Sam
I remember
Querrey.
Sam Querrey
I
now
like
doing
those guys.
commentary.
John Isner.
John
also
Isner,
doing
loved John Isner.
Loved him.
It's just a bummer. Like like the French guys too, Richard Gasquet. Monfils is still playing, not the same player that he was, but
yeah,
it's tough. It's
It
tough
is
to see
tough.
time
It
go
is
by
tough.
like this.
It
You're
is
getting older, and it's like the passage of time catches up to everyone. And it's a bummer. So I'm going to be sad when
is.
Djokovic retires, but I'm also like, I love the new guys. I love
I was gonna
Alcaraz.
say,
I
but we
love
got a
watching
great
I love
young
watching a
guys, too.
Sin Caraz match, even as stressful
Might
as
happen
they may
again.
be. Yeah.
Probably will happen again.
So,
and that's what our predictions is too, to kind of bring it back full circle.
Yeah.
You have
I have Sinner winning.
okay, yeah, I have
Everyone
Alcaraz
else is
winning.
Alcaraz.
Right, you're the odd one out this time.
Yeah.
Well, we'll
have
see.
to see. One
We'll
more
see.
week.
I was gonna say in a week from.
In a week, we'll know
tomorrow.
the women's champion. Yeah.
In a week, we'll know the women's champion.
Or
week from tomorrow, we'll know the
they
men's.
play at like 4. So in a week, we will have the women's final.
If you're
And then-
listening to this at night,
Oh,
if
that's
you're
a good
listening to
point.
this on the
If you're
radio,
listening at night,
you will know. Yep,
there you go.
90.7 FM.
Exactly.
Good evening, everyone.
taking my job.
Hey,
I needed the help. It's okay.
Hey, I got some practice under my belt. It's
Sometimes,
okay.
sometimes I forget that this is on at night. But yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good second week. I'm excited for the second week.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for the finals next week. I will be at Yankee Stadium on Sunday when the men's finals going on. It's a tough day. That is like a big sports day for me
big
because it's
sports
the
day.
U.S. Open men's final, the first Sunday of the NFL season. There's baseball. There's too much happening, and I can't handle it all at once. But it's so fun because you could just flip
Right.
the channel, like when I was, when I still lived full time at home. I would just sit on the couch with my dad for like 12 hours on that first Sunday of September, and it was great.
TV's on the whole day.
It was great. But now, I'm excited to go to this Yankee game with our friends from London. But I'm also
That's
like, we're
fun.
going to have like 3
Little
phones
abroad
on different
reunion.
events.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
That's okay.
Do what you got to do.
Maybe they'll play it. Wait, what time is the Yankees game?
1:30.
1:30.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll play it at the Yankees game. Maybe they'll be
Sometimes,
like.
yeah,
Maybe they'll
sometimes
check
they
in
do that.
on the
Yeah, maybe they'll
Jumbotron.
check
They
in.
do that.
Yeah. Be like, here's what we got going
Although
on.
actually, I might be able to catch most of the men's final because that's at 4 usually if they are sticking to that
true.
time. So that actually, if I just,
got back home. Yeah.
Might be a 5-setter. So
Might be a 5-setter.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
do you want to turn
that's
it
our-
over to
that's
the
our
You guys
first
want to head to our
breakdown.
tea time?
We're heading to our tea
I
time.
think
We're
to the
grabbing,
tea time.
we're grabbing our clubs.
Grabbing the clubs,
Grabbing
yeah.
the
Packing
clubs,
up,
yep.
packing up the
Put away
tennis
my
racket.
racket,
Put away the
yeah.
racket. Yeah.
Give that to the what do they
Switch
have?
the
The country
shoes.
clubs. They have like the locker rooms.
Yeah,
Put
yeah.
them in the
We're going to the locker room. Put our tennis
Get
rackets in there.
Get the golf cart that I'll
Grab the
drive because I
clubs.
don't really. I can't play
We're
golf.
getting
Driver
the
or
golf
walker.
cart.
All right,
Yeah.
we're drivers today.
I'm
All right.
driving.
Is
I'll
that fine?
drive the
Do you-
golf cart.
Do you
I love
normally drive
driving
or
it.
walk when you play golf?
So where I live on a course, so I love to walk it.
Okay.
But like driving it is much more efficient. I just like sometimes I'll play alone, and so I'll just like put my music in like my
yeah.
pocket.
There you
and
go.
I'll just like
That
I'll
sounds
walk it.
very serene.
I'll Strava it. I don't use Strava.
major
I only
vibe.
use Strava when I golf.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not a big Strava person.
I've
fun.
turned into a
I've
Nike,
used it a little bit.
Nike run club.
I'm a
person.
Nike
like
run
the
club
two,
person.
Like the 2 times I've gone.
I'm
running
big into
recently,
Coach Bennett. Have you
but-
listened to Coach Bennett?
No, I don't listen to the coach.
Oh,
I just
Coach
try to
Bennett.
get on
used
there.
I'm on my Strava grind right now, and I don't think I like it because I
I
don't
don't
think
like
it
Strava.
tracks me accurately.
I also don't
think
like
the
the fact
time
that
is
it's
wrong.
social media.
It will track my
Yeah.
distance wrong.
Yeah,
Not
it tracks it like way wrong.
It tracks it way wrong. I mean, not to bring this up flex, but I ran a half marathon 2 summers ago.
Oh yeah,
And
there you go.
Valid self-flex.
13.1 miles, like I did that, but it tracked 9 miles, and I saw this after I finished.
I would be heated.
I would have
I
called
would be
customer
heated.
service
so
and been like, your app is a bummer.
And you know what,
Especially
like-
since those last 4 miles are by far the hardest.
Yeah.
by far the hardest. Here's a hill.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was tough, guys. It was tough.
I had this conversation with like apparently Strava is like only like 40% accurate.
Okay,
I
I'm
mean, that
deleting
makes
that.
sense.
This is
I'm
why
gonna
I use
switch to Nike Run Club after
I like
this.
Nike Run Club. I think it's pretty accurate.
Yeah, I've tried to start running again.
The reason
so.
I'm not a Strava person is because my watch doesn't connect to Strava because it's old.
Yeah,
But like everyone loves Strava.
Everyone loves Strava. and I
Everyone
don't
raves
understand
about it. I'm
why.
like, I also
Yeah.
don't see my problem too with Strava is that it is basically social media for like working out. So if I see like one of my best friends, she goes to UVA. Hi, Rachel. She runs pretty much every day. She always goes to the blah 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 blah. She's going on hikes. She does all this stuff, which is awesome. Except that when I see that and I like didn't do anything that day, I'm gonna be like, ugh,
Yeah.
God. So I
just like,
can't know what everyone
comment
else is doing.
obnoxious things on my friends' posts.
Yeah, I might do
Yeah,
that.
that's kind of fun.
It's like, oh, you ran 2 miles at a 7-minute pace. Well, I run 2 miles at a 6-minute pace. Like,
Yeah.
I can't run 2 miles at a 6-minute pace.
I was gonna
but-
say 6-minute pace is really good.
You should be like
Hold
going
on
pro
now.
then. I
Yeah,
mean,
what? Get this girl
running
in the
is a
Olympics.
sport.
I just
Like, you should be
always
you should be on the track
post
team
the
here.
activity and then like a selfie of like me golfing.
I love
Yeah,
posting
like, that's-
a picture.
Oh, my ball in the woods. That was a good one. Just
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
that's where I live on the golf
Follow
course.
Lydia
you
Pirner on
go.
Strava.
Well, I don't even know
You
my
know.
account name, but if you
But
can
just
find me on
even
Strava,
skip the Twitter. Do
Yeah.
Strava.
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
even.
Walk to MSG. We should start posting
We
beat
should
reporting things.
That's such a good idea. We should start like straving like commute to UBS,
Dude, it
commute
feels
to
like a
MSG,
workout. The UBS
or whatever.
commute
Like
feels
walking
like a
to the
workout.
press box at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah,
Oh
climbing
my
the stairs to get back to my
Yeah, honestly,
seat.
flight of stairs, they track that. That's tracked now.
Dude,
So
yeah.
it counts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It
if anyone wants to track their golf rounds, just let me know. I can help you out. But we'll talk a little bit about golf. Just a quick 10 minutes or so because there's some really big stuff happening, and I kind of explained to you guys about Tommy Fleetwood. So Tommy Fleetwood, I don't usually root for British people. Like, we're Americans here. Like,
This is after like
I
you
enjoy
have
some
talked
Brits.
of London this
okay,
entire time.
but you don't like.
London-
It's not like you would ever root. Like, we're Americans. Like, we just
I
have
rooted
to
for
like.
Andy Murray.
You just have to like as a
Shamelessly.
joke like hate on England. You know what I mean?
I love Andy Murray
sure.
and Jack
like
Draper.
I will talk about London like
fear.
with good light, but I never said a good thing about London in London. You know
That's
what-
true.
Yeah.
You were trying to act like you hated London while we were there, and you secretly liked
No,
it.
I loved it.
Yeah,
but
it was great. We
It's
had
like
a great
it's
time
like
in London.
You can never root for yeah, I'm
It
like seeing
appears
Griffin
someone's
behind.
calling, and I'm now
My
I'm
train
now
of thought
really
just stopped.
nervous.
Anyways, Tommy Fleetwood, he won his first PGA championship after I want to get the number right, 163 consecutive losses.
That is
insane.
incredible.
That's,
I'm gonna hand it to him. I don't know.
that's
I don't know much
huge.
about golf.
So let me just tell
that's
you about who
crazy.
he is as a person.
What a mentality.
He
too.
is one of the nicest people. Oh no. Hold on. Let me finish this thought, and then we'll talk to our caller on the line. He's just like, he's always engaging with the fans, always giving them high fives, always smiling, and even like after in his post game interviews, or post match interviews, they're asking like what happened like on the back nine or whatever, and he's like, I think I did some really good things. I just got to keep practicing, but I can be proud of what I did well. He's never negative.
That's nice.
And so
great.
it's a feel good story.
Yeah.
But the one thing reason it's not good is because the Ryder Cup's in a couple weeks, and that's Tommy Fleetwood is on the European team, and obviously we're all for the American team here, which we will get into.
Okay.
We have a caller on the line. Chaz. Chaz is on the line.
No
Chaz,
way.
how are you? What do you got for us?
How we doing, guys?
How are you?
It's great to hear the show. Great to hear you guys back. Love the all-woman crew here going on at WFUV. You guys are
Thank
talking
you,
a little
Chaz.
Ryder Cup.
Appreciate you.
And I just think, and I know I wasn't getting a chance to him, but I think Keegan not making himself on the roster as a captain, a lot of people are looking at it in a negative light. I think it shows the level of maturity that you don't get to see out of a lot of golfers. You know what I mean? You look back at the Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau rivalry. You look back at, I know you said Rory's always talking to the media. He's known to have his meltdown a time or two. And I think guys like Keegan making himself, while he's a captain, not putting himself on the roster, just puts him in a position to have a better legacy on the roster. I have Jack Warner here to disagree.
Hi,
I agree
Jack.
with what? Keegan Bradley.
Is Jack not a fan of Keegan Bradley not choosing himself?
Absolutely. I completely agree. Yeah. All right, Jack agrees. But yeah, I just want to call and say, really happy with the show you guys are doing. You got a lot of WFUV alum here. Will Talent, Ryan Gregg Ware, John O'Friel. And we just wanted to say we're really proud of what you guys are doing.
It's a really great FUV meetup here in Chestnut Hill, and we are
Chestnut
super
Hill.
happy that you guys are on air while we're here. It's very poetic, and we love you guys, and you guys are amazing.
We love you
What's up,
guys.
guys?
Thank you for calling.
How is everyone?
Is this Will?
Oh, absolutely.
What's up?
What's up, Will? How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm having a great time. Keep up with the great work.
Thank
you guys are awesome.
Thanks, Will.
Thank you,
I
Will.
just want to call and show some support.
Well,
Yeah,
we appreciate
We
it.
appreciate you guys. Miss you guys.
I love the
All
take
right,
too.
guys.
Go
All
for
right.
him, football.
Yeah,
Have
let's
a
go
good show.
Rams.
I'll
Go
hang
get
up
a
with you.
win.
Go Rams, baby. Yeah, first time, long time.
All right. Well, actually, Chaz actually gave us a really good segue into talking about Keegan Bradley. So, for context, Keegan Bradley is the captain of Team USA for the Ryder Cup, but he's also one of the best American golfers right now. Should I make you guys guess this? I don't know if you're gonna get it. The last golfer to play as both to play as the captain of the Ryder Cup team was in 1963. And I'm gonna give you a hint. It's a popular drink.
Arnold Palmer.
Yes.
Guys, I know a
Good
little bit
work.
of ball.
Bang.
Just a little.
Arnold Palmer was the last golfer to play as both a captain and in the tournament. And if Keegan Bradley chose himself, nobody would have been mad because it was deserved and it was valid. I mean, he barely lost to Tommy Fleetwood. Actually beat Tommy Fleetwood in a heartbreaker that kind of, got everyone, rooting for him. There's a number of reasons to root for Tommy. But Keegan Bradley just basically said, I want to fully focus on captain duties.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is a really respectable choice because, I mean, I know you guys don't know a ton about golf, but just playing golf, it is so mental.
It's all mental.
It's all
yeah,
mental. And having a captain of any sport, like when you're playing and the captain's playing bad, sometimes it can be hard for that captain to cheer on your teammates.
Mm-hmm.
So to kind of have someone off to the side who knows the game, but also, kind of cheering for you, it makes the U.S.'s chance, in my opinion, better. Like, do you think like just strictly like from what I've told you about how the game works and this tournament works, it's a good decision for Keegan Bradley and Team USA?
Yeah, I think it's a good decision. I think it's like pretty selfless too, because as you said, like the mental side of golf is such a big part of it that
It's huge. I've thrown clubs. I can't lie.
Oh my
Right.
gosh,
I'm
it's
mentally
so
weak.
frustrating.
like you don't see a lot of golf players like crash out, and that the strength that takes is very much real.
Every
and
once in a while you get a club snap.
every
Rory loves
now
to
and then
throw his
there's
clubs
like
into
a-
the lake.
there's like
Yeah.
this, and I'm like, you know what? I feel you, because that would be
Yeah,
me
it's
every
tough.
single hole. But the mental side is such a big part of the game, and if now there's no guarantee that he would have played bad. I don't think there would have been from what you've told me, but there's no guarantee that would have happened. But if he had started playing a little badly, it's hard to be a leader when you're struggling with your own game.
Yeah.
I think that is a rule across sports. I think,
especially in a game like golf,
right?
Where
it's very
I'm thinking of basketball.
Yeah.
I'm thinking even volleyball or any of those super team sports. It's one point happens after another, so you kind of bounce back quicker. Golf, it's all in your head, you were just saying. Golf, you have to, you're playing yourself essentially. You're playing other people, but you're essentially playing yourself and getting at going at your own rhythm and hitting your own shots, because nothing that you do in golf is based off anyone else. So I think it's really cool that he's choosing this.
It's also,
I think it'll make the tournament interesting in that way.
It's on Long Island. It's in the U.S. this year, and
That's cool.
I think, in the words of Bryson DeChambeau, they're sick of it. They're sick of hearing from Europe. We're all sick of it. You can't lose on home soil.
That's true.
But I will say, I will be a bit surprised if the USA win.
Really?
Because the U.S.
There's some
we
really
have
good international
there's
golfers.
some really good. It's going to take a miracle. Scotty Scheffler, Bryson DeChambeau.
Yeah.
They're going to have to carry Team USA. JJ Spahn's been playing really, really good golf. He doesn't hit the ball that far, which is kind of an issue for this course. And then you look at, Team Europe. Yeah. Rory McIlroy, Justin Rose, Tommy Fleetwood. And I know I'm missing, a number of names.
Is there a Canadian guy that's good?
Connors. Corey Connors.
Sure.
Yeah, but just with
looking
a
at the Tour
E-R-S,
Championship.
the Canadian way to spell Connors. Yeah. So it's gonna take a miracle for the U.S. to win. But to have the captain, start the USA chants and all that stuff on the course, it's gonna be a really cool environment. This is gonna be a really fun weekend, even if you're not a golf fan. But I just don't see they did the US Bradley had some interesting picks. Justin Thomas, he hasn't been playing his best, but he's. If you watch, if any hype videos were to come across your, TikTok For You page of the Ryder Cup, Justin Thomas is going to be in it, walking in a putt and pointing. This guy is just electric when it comes to, when he puts the USA, logo on, he's all in. He's all in. He's Captain America at that point, even though Keegan Bradley's Captain America. But it's just fun. And then he picked Patrick Cantlay. And since I am new to golf, I admit that, I don't know a ton about Cantlay, but I know people don't like him because he takes a really long time. But when you're paired with someone from Team Europe and there's nothing worse than taking a long time on the course.
Oh no, it's like a courtesy thing.
Well,
where keep it kind of
if
moving.
he takes a long time, it's a psychological thing.
That's true. That could that's interesting. That could mess with them. Maybe it's a strategy. I don't know.
So, I don't know. We'll see. That'll be taking place in the next couple weeks. The one other very quick note, because we have to wrap up this section or segment, is Bryson DeChambeau plays for Live Golf, and Live and PGA don't get along. And PGA is not letting Bryson practice for the Ryder Cup in a PGA tournament with all their other PGA guys. Not sure I like that move because it is a sport as a country.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think that's a good move for PGA because we want to see the U.S. beat Europe in the Ryder Cup, especially since they lost 2 years ago. But that's a couple weeks away. We got some time. But for now, we have the IndyCar Series that is down to the final race of the season in Music City Sunday. So here's a recap of last weekend in Milwaukee in our latest Indy in 60.
Hi, I'm Ashley Went, one of your hosts for FUVFC, WFUV's best, if not only podcast.
Indy in 60. It was a banner weekend for Ed Carpenter Racing, the best in the team's history, as Christian Rasmussen secured his first IndyCar win and teammate Alexander Rossi finished fourth at the Milwaukee Mile. Fresh tires and a bold final 28 laps from Rasmussen stole the show and the victory.
Yeah, amazing. Great job by the team this weekend. We started pretty rough. Like we were really struggling in practice 1, but got it turned around for qualifying. Qualified better than I thought we would, to be honest. But which was really good. And then the race went our way. You know, we did what we did best. We do best on ovals. You know, running whatever line the car in front is not. So again, we were amazing in traffic, which that's what made the main difference today. Again, I think. And then with a good call there at the end, going on to the new tires, having something to fight with. So yeah, pretty cool. Getting my first win here. It was good Sunday.
The season wraps up tomorrow in Nashville.
That was our very own sports director, Bobby C, with the latest Indy in 60 update. But for our final segment, we actually never told what we're doing.
No,
it's a
surprise.
surprise.
It is a surprise. We're gonna have some fun.
Yeah.
Why not?
We've been having fun this whole time.
We've been having fun this whole time.
Some
Yeah,
extra fun.
we're gonna add some flair. You know, like go out with a bang.
Go out with a bang. Yep.
Because this is our final segment of this one-on-one. Women show. I keep saying all
women on air.
And women on air.
Yeah.
Women on air.
Plus Kurt and Nathan and Griffin. At times. But anyways, we're gonna draft a little starting 5 of our hear me out athletes, and this is kind of hear me out, kind of a just mentioning players that probably haven't been mentioned ever on this show. Maybe they have. Who knows? But we're just gonna see what each other come up with.
Yeah.
Should we do it?
Yeah.
All right. Who wants to go first?
I feel like you as the A-host
Yeah,
should
I
go
was gonna say,
first. You
Lydia?
came up with this idea. So.
All right. Well, obviously my first pick isn't a surprise. Like, I've only name dropped this person once. So, and there was a promo. Shout out the promo. He's name dropped. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
So
shout out.
technically twice on the broadcast.
But I think that's good numbers. I think I really had self-control today.
It's not too bad.
It's not too bad. I had
done
incredible
worse.
self-control. We've done so much worse. So, my number 1 pick. Do you want to say the name?
Will Cooley.
Damn right.
Well, okay, so I don't think this is a hear me out
That's
because
not hear me out because he's objectively a really, really good hockey player.
He's a very good hockey player. He's very important to this Rangers
Good looking.
team. That too. But like that's not hear me out. I hear you on Will Cooley. I'm like, yeah, he's very good.
I don't think anyone could disagree
I don't think it's
with
hear me out anymore, but I also think I've indoctrinated all of you to make sure it's not a hear me out.
Yeah, I kind of like can't even go against you on that.
Like,
And I'd be scared if I did.
Honestly, Grace at this point probably doesn't even like know if Will Cooley's good at hockey or not.
I watch him. First of all, I watch him against the Islanders, and I'm like, wow, this guy looks like the.
He also
greatest
plays
hockey
really well
player.
against the Islanders.
Yes, he really does. He had that one goal off the
his
head. It was actually ridiculous. I was really upset, but you know he is good at hockey. I'll give him that. For like, I don't watch a ton of.
Give him that.
I don't watch like every Rangers game like Lydia here, obviously, but
But
yeah,
let's
he's
roll
really
us around
good,
it.
and
It's
he's gonna be big for them this year. So,
All right. Do you want
whatever.
to announce your first pick?
All right, my first pick is my old favorite Met, Michael Conforto. Now, this is definitely a hear me out because we were talking about Michael
You were
Conforto.
trashing him earlier, I thought.
Well, he was hitting 170.
But hear her out.
Oh, I should have put Joey Gallo in this. Sorry, keep going.
That is, oh my God. All right. I thought this was a hear me out, but that's a hear me out. Michael Conforto, this is very much based off nostalgia because when I first became really, really deep into baseball in like 2016, 17, he was my first favorite player. He had a great 2017 and 2019 for the Mets. You might be thinking, Grace, 2017 is 8 years ago. 2019 is 6 years ago. I know that. But in my heart, I'm wondering, where did that go? He's bounced around a little after that. He's been on the Giants. He's been on the Dodgers. Not very good for especially the Dodgers. He's been pretty bad. But, you know, the Dodgers, if you're not that great, you don't get a lot of playing time. So they have a lot of players over there that are really, really good. But he was supposed to be the Mets guy for a little bit there.
So was Juan Soto.
Still 14 years on the team.
young.
That's not the same thing.
That's a long contract for someone who's hitting 250. Sorry, go on.
He snapped a homer drought the other day, his first since July 27th, which is a month. And that's a long time. But you know what, Michael? I still support you. My hear me out is that maybe one day he could find it again. He is not that old still. He's like early 30. I want to say
32.
31. He's 32. So he still has some time left before he has to hang him up. I hope he can get better. Maybe not to where he used to be, because that was pretty good.
Better.
But better than hitting 170.
Yeah.
Not great.
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
All right. My first draft. Hear me out. Well, these are also brothers, okay? They're brothers, so it doesn't count a little bit. Bryan brothers. I'm going tennis. My first pick is tennis.
I like it.
I love watching these guys growing up.
Bob and
they
Mike.
are twin brothers, identical twin brothers who played tennis doubles together.
That's kind of aura.
They won.
So
It's
aura.
so aura. Oh my god.
This photo's chills.
That
this
is
chills.
so
Chills.
sick.
Yeah.
And their
Their
mom
go-to
has that
move-
on the wall,
I-
for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Their go-to, they would win a match, chest bump every time. Like,
It was
they're
electric.
they're electric. They're so fun to watch. They won 16 Grand Slam doubles titles together, which is just like, I think this is impressive because like playing with your sibling, and I mean, I also know this. I played with my sister. It's tough.
Yeah.
Do a lot of things with your sibling. You know, there's like tension. It gets competitive.
Arguing every single time.
Yeah.
No, ultimately it boils down to an argument. They played together their entire life and were probably the most successful men's double team maybe of all time.
Yeah.
They're so good, and they're also just like such silly guys. So that's my first one. I know like brothers was a lot to pick for my first draft.
No,
but
I like that.
These
I
are
like that.
like these are some of my favorite tennis players out there. Like they're so fun, and they were always kind of just like an inspiration, like drawing on nostalgia for me growing up, because when my sister and I would play, it'd be like, we're just like the Bryan brothers, except for the Price sisters.
I like that.
Yeah, so that's my first pick.
All right, my second pick. We actually talked.
Oh,
about
and they're Mets fans.
Oh,
that was the first
that's
pick
the
the
hear
other
me
day.
out. That's the hear me out.
I had that. I wasn't looking at my notes.
I
I was
shoulda-
looking at the picture of them, and then I went back to my notes, and I remembered that I
major.
wrote Mets fans.
They
They're
might have
huge.
thrown out the first pick at
It
City.
was recently.
That was recent.
It was very recent.
That
I
was
can't believe you
electric.
cut me off for that detail.
Very
it was a needed
important.
detail.
Very important.
Apologize to me right now.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah, my second pick is. It would be a disservice if I didn't put Daniel Jones on this list.
Oh my god.
Like I
don't know if I can
genuinely
hear
was
you
going
on
to like my
this.
I'm
freshman
not
year of
hearing you
high
on
school,
this.
and I had like the fattest crush on him.
I know.
What?
I feel like that's where it should end.
And then I will defend this man until the day I die. I am Daniel Jones' only fan, and Grace and I actually went to a Giants game last year, and they lost. I mean,
To
but
Washington,
it
who
was-
did go to the NFC Championship.
and it was
so
because
okay.
the defense played horrible. Jones actually threw like 4 touchdowns.
He actually was not that bad that
No,
game.
he was like electric.
He was good. He was throwing the ball
Yeah.
very nicely, and they were scoring. And there was like a chance that they won that game. They didn't, but
Yeah.
like, they did not look that. The offense did not look bad.
Well, and then I remember, we heard from Jack Warner, but I remember he told me like, yeah, like a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while too, and I was like,
Yeah,
all
a broken clock
all
is
right,
right twice
all
a day.
right.
So yeah,
All right, I got Will Cooley and Daniel Jones. Great start for me, by the way.
really great start for you. I'm also going tennis for my second pick, and Gabby, you already know my feelings on this guy. It's Matteo Berrettini.
Absolutely.
2021 Wimbledon runner-up. I've been a fan of him for a long time because I do feel a duty as an Italian American to root for certain Italian tennis players.
You're
And
Italian?
Yeah.
They were Irish.
I am also Irish.
Oh,
That's
I
where
guess
that's
you
where
could-
McCarroll.
you could
Yeah.
very
Well,
much be
my
both.
mom.
It's not exclusive.
Yeah, mom Judy Batista. Batista's Italian. Bautista is Spanish. That's where people get mixed up. A lot of people think my mom is Latina, but she's not. Anyway, I think Berrettini. He's getting a little bit older. He's only 29 though. He still has some career left. The main issue with him has been the injuries. It's been kind of constant with him. Like, I think there was something with his back, his knee. There's just things, and that can thwart a player deeply. Especially in tennis, I think it's a little harder because you're playing on different surfaces and the body handles them differently. So
Yeah.
recovery can be tough.
Yeah.
But he's also made the quarters or better at every single Grand Slam tournament. It's been it's been a few years since I think it's since 2022 that he made
Yeah.
like the semis at the US Open or something close to that. But, you never know. Every now and then we have a random guy who makes a run. And I think he could be one of them if he gets healthy. I need him to play. I don't know that
health is the biggest.
I don't know if he pulled out of the US Open, I believe, with a knee thing. I'm not sure if he was at Wimbledon either, but it's been a tough run for him.
It's
But,
been a
you
minute.
know, that's not so much. These are not so much hear me out players as they are I hope you get better.
Yeah.
Because that's the first two are like, no one's hear me. Like, most people are not going to hear me out on Michael Conforto, except maybe his wife,
people aren't going to hear
Cabernet.
me out on Daniel Jones.
Shout
They're just
out.
going to turn off my microphone and tell me to shut up and go cry in a corner.
Right. So this is more of a I hope you get better and I'm wishing you the best type of list.
No, like, same for me with Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
I think maybe my hear me outs are more, at least maybe my first two, are more just like, you know, more attention for these guys. 'Cause
I agree.
my second one, it's barely even a hear me out. It's just like, I don't know if we've talked about him on 101, so it's like Sean White. I'm going
Ooh, that's a
snowboard.
good
I
one.
like that.
Thank
Ooh, I
you.
love that.
Very successful, obviously. Great
We
guy.
got to get more, like, ski and snowboard talk.
I
We gotta get
don't-
more winter stuff.
I really don't watch him unless it was the Olympics, but
Yeah.
like
Kayla Schifrin.
crazy,
Michaela
just like
Schifrin, my
electric
girl.
guy, so fun to watch,
Yeah.
and everyone knows him, but he kind of just like slides under the radar a little bit. So
one.
I
Sean
love
White,
that.
my guy, Sean
That
White.
is a good poll.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like it's like hear me out in the sense like hear me out or like here, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like he's retired, but he's still GOAT, and I
Yeah.
want people to remember that he's
Yes,
still GOAT.
I like that.
Goated.
All right, my third pick, and the only reason I feel like it's a hear me out is because I am a Rangers fan. Seth Jarvis.
Oh, I
I
love Seth Jarvis.
Love this man.
Oh my
he
God,
is
he's
probably one of the
hilarious.
best personalities in the NHL. But the problem is he plays for the Carolina Hurricanes,
that's
and
not
that is like
acceptable.
that team is basically like my biggest op, other than the Devils. So I should really hate him, but I can't hate
I
him.
love him.
He's so not media
He's
trained.
such a little angel.
Like he is just so ridiculous. Yeah, I would say the interviews that refer to some of the interviews, but we don't have time. But yeah, Seth Jarvis, love that guy.
I love Seth Jarvis. All right, I have another tennis player. Daniil Medvedev. We were talking about this the other day on Cross the Line.
Really?
He's my hear me out because I think he might still have something left in the tank.
Absolutely washed.
3-time Australian Open finalist, Lydia, including 2024, which is almost 2 years ago because they played that in January.
Lydia,
so
do not fall for the propaganda.
He won the U.S. Open in 2021.
I usually
which,
don't fall for Grace's propaganda. So.
Thank you.
Next.
Except
Fake
Jackson,
Islanders.
except Jackson Dart, we share the same.
I feel like
Dart
we fell for
propaganda.
Isabella's propaganda there.
That was kind of and she's
Yeah.
not even like a Giants fan. so
She's
that
been
was
on
kinda
Jackson
weird.
Dart
She
since
just
he was
got
on Ole Miss. Yeah.
Right. But with maybe if Djokovic rides off into the sunset soon, Medvedev could pull one out. You never know.
I guess so.
Some things would have to fall his way. I don't think he can beat Alcaraz or Sinner. I kind of feel that way about Djokovic as well. But, we know his personality is sometimes questionable. But I think the fire that he sometimes has, sometimes he's prone to a crash out. That can help sometimes. Help you, fire yourself up and be, ready to win. Or it can hinder, as we saw the other day.
Sure.
But, I don't know. I don't think he's cooked. I don't think he's completely cooked. He might be, again, riding, in the twilight. But he's not.
Sure.
He's not. It's not dark out yet.
Hey, I listened to your take for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm also sticking with tennis for my next one. I'm going Tommy Paul. He's a younger player on tour. He hasn't, been super successful, but I think he's young, or he's 28. He still has time. He's been getting better. He's had a highest rank of number 8. So, I think he's someone to watch.
I like that.
Sure.
All right, my fourth pick is Brian Anderson.
Oh dear.
So he played for the Miami Marlins in 2021, and I just decided I was going to become the biggest fan of him. Probably his only fan, other than his parents. I have a bobblehead. I have two Marlins Brian Anderson T-shirts. He is no longer on the Marlins. I don't even know if he's in the league anymore.
He's
I think
a
he's on the
free
Braves.
agent.
Oh,
He
no.
was on the Braves last.
Most
He's a
recently.
free agent.
I just love him, and when I would tell people this, they'd look at me like, "What is wrong with you?"
I mean,
I get looked at
we all have
the
our
time,
players that.
Yeah, Brian Anderson.
Yeah,
he's mine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, this one, I'm interested to see your reaction to this, Lydia. This is not so much a hear me out, again, as I hope you return to what you used to be. And this is very nostalgic and personal to me. Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I
not
like that.
currently with an NFL team.
I feel like if you're a Steelers fan, saying it like Antonio Brown or something.
Yeah, I agree. Not currently with a team, which I think is interesting. But we all remember 2014. The Giants, not a good football team, but you know what? They had Odell, and they had Eli, again, kind of in the twilight.
I mean,
that I will never forget that.
Yeah.
Insane.
That's one of my first conscious, other than the second Giants Super Bowl I remember, that is one of my first conscious sports memories.
Yeah.
So there's that. And I loved him. I was so upset when he went to Cleveland. But I also like
That was my first Giants jersey.
There you go.
Yeah.
My mother explained it to me. She's like, Grace, there's some things with like the ownership and the coaches. They just didn't mesh. And now that I've grown a little, I realize that does happen, and you kind of just have to deal with it. But it is a bummer. I wish he could have been a career Giant, and he could have been a great receiver for them. And he's 32.
Yeah.
Now, this is like 32 when you're an NFL player. That kind of is tough sometimes, unless you are really, really still very good. I don't think he's going to go back to what he used to be when he won Rookie of the Year, but you never know.
Yeah. Grace, I'm going to need your backup on this, I think. I'm foreseeing Lydia's reaction already. Next one, I'm going Jeff McNeil.
Oh, yeah. The flying squirrel, Jeff McHitz.
And hear me out. He just has
Jeff
like
McHitz.
random clutch
That's the
moments
stupidest
that
nickname.
make
no
him
one actually
kind
calls
of
him that. That's just me.
awesome.
Yes, he does.
I understand
Jeff
he's not.
McStrikeout.
Yeah, I mean,
McGround out.
listen. He
Mc
also
double play
has
Jeff.
his moments. He's not the best player. Obviously, we know that.
Yeah,
but
he's
I mean,
quite hot and
he
cold.
has some.
I would have
quite
rather you say
clutch
like Brett
moments.
Beatty.
I was thinking about it. I told
Okay.
Grace that she should.
I'm actually glad you didn't say Brett Beatty.
No,
I take
I
that
mean,
back.
I think it would have been a better pick, honestly, or an easier hear me out. But I chose Jeff McNeil, and I'm sticking with it. But I'll keep it moving since we got one more.
All right, yeah, rapid fire, final round. Mine, Frank Kaminsky, Electric at Wisconsin, great basketball player for the program. Love that guy.
You're going to laugh at my last one. It's Brett Beatty. I'm dead serious.
Oh my
that
God.
was the
All
one
right.
I wrote down. He's having a
Gabby,
decent season.
Gabby, go on.
He's having
Hey.
a decent season.
No, yeah.
I don't think
for
all
the
hope is
final-
lost.
for
He's
the
my
final
third baseman
pick.
right now. Go ahead.
This is such a random one. I'm going Tyler Kolek on the Knicks.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Owen,
love
Owen
that.
Kelty would actually
Owen
really
Kelty,
appreciate
get
that
him in
pick.
there.
Yeah.
I
Wow,
like it.
that is
I like that
unreal.
pick.
I want to see him again.
I love that.
Well, you know how, before we wrap the show, you know how we were talking about self-deprecation earlier? Is that the word? Let's do some self-affirmations, right? I would say that was quite a successful show. We
That
had
was
fun,
great.
right?
We had a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
we
Just
had
a lot
so
of
much
laughs.
fun.
Let's just clap
I
it
love
up for
hearing you
ourselves.
guys.
Thank
Yeah.
you to our call-ins, my
Yeah.
mother and Chas
Yes.
McAdams, Will Talent, Jack Warner, everyone else.
Everyone.
Who's
All
there.
the
We love you
everyone
guys.
alums.
Go Fordham.
Go Rams.
Fordham football.
Beat
Everyone
BC.
talk
tune
today.
in to the Fordham football broadcast
2
now.
p.m.
Let's
Which
Yeah.
is
go
right
Rams.
now.
Yeah, but for our unofficial women's show, for my co-host Gabby Price, Grace McCarron, I've been Lydia Pirner, and then behind the glass, can't forget about them, we got Griffin Stevenson with our radio producer, Nathan Rogers. Beautiful graphics once again, right here. Everyone, come on, right here. Where can you see the graphics? Like, you think this is about correct?
Like
Somewhere,
this right
somewhere
here.
here. Yeah,
Right
beautiful
here.
graphics. That Mets one, that's the one
The
thing.
orange
Good
and blue
Mets, yeah.
view.
Really, really good graphic there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hopped on for a bit. We had Kurt. We had all
a lot
hands
of
on deck
love.
for this show.
A lot of love.
That's how
So much
one-on-one
love.
should be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so fun show. Thank you to everyone who was involved. Also, final huge shout out to our sports director, who we also heard in the Indian 60 update, Bobby Chaffardini. One-on-One is a production of WFUV Sports. See you guys all next Saturday.